Chapter 1645. Group attack divine, tree outside the city. Elder Lu Yu's face is filled with ruthlessness. She floated in the air and looked at the huge tree in the distance and said coldly, "The petals are finally falling." Beside Elder Lu Yu floated a bald old man. This bald old man has a golden beard. He is clan leader Lu Yu. The petals are falling, but they're all picked up by the divine bees. The petals won't fall to the ground, nor will they be blown out of the city. Clan leader Lu Yu said with sneer, "Those divine bees won't let humans get their petals again." Elder Lu Yu coldly snorted and said, "Why did the divine bees suddenly remove the ice seal? The dozen or so people we sent were all heaven immortals. How did they die?" "I have to ask you that. You are an elder of Divine Tree Palace. If you don't know, how would we know? It was you who let those people in," Lu Yu said. "Not only did we lose more than 10 heaven immortals, the divine bees that were sealed with great difficulty also regained their freedom." "Clan leader, if I said that was all done by Qin Yun, would you believe me?" Elder Lu Yu said coldly. "Oh." Clan leader Lu Yu now understands Qin Yun very well. He knows many friends who came from Immortal Desolate. He knows that Qin Yun has done all kinds of world-shaking things in Immortal Desolate. The person beside the falling Moon Palace Master might be Qin Yun. "I have come into contact with this guy. My feeling can't be wrong." Elder Lu Yu cursed in low voice. This guy Qin Yun has a pass, so his relationship with falling Moon Palace Master and Divine Tree Palace Master is very normal. Clan leader Lu Yu said with frown. "If that's the case, then this Qin Yun has destroyed the plan we worked hard for many years to complete." Elder Lu Yu nodded and said, "Yes, our plan was destroyed by him. This guy is our Lu Yu clan's enemy. I am not surprised that he did these things." "Then what do you think we should do next?" Clan leader Lu Yu also knows that if they do not act now, it will be too late. The divine tree is about to completely transform. Once it transforms, it will leave the ancient garden. Elder Lu Yu said, "When the time comes, the Divine Tree Palace Master will have the pass in her hands. She can leave the ancient garden, but what about us?" Clan leader Lu Yu said solemnly, "Once the Divine Tree leaves, the Golden Moon will also slowly fall. There won't be so many Saint Profound silver crystals in the future." Elder Lu Yu said solemnly, "Clan leader, we must stop the Divine Tree from leaving the ancient garden. Only by continuing to live can we find the Sun Soul and wait for the space of the ancient garden to collapse. At that time, we can completely leave the ancient garden. We can only use that method." Clan leader Lu Yu said coldly, "This ancient garden belongs to the Lu Yu clan. The Golden Moon is already under the control of the Willow Moon clan. As long as we control the Divine Tree, we will be able to dominate the ancient gardens. At that time, we can rely on the resources here to trade with the people of the Immortal Desolate." Elder Lu Yu laughed maniacally. "As long as we can go to the Immortal Desolate will be ours, haha." At night, the golden moon in the sky was very round. Just like before, the 5-star city was very lively inside and outside. Although the people outside the city saw some flower petals being picked up by the divine bees, they all felt that there were too few divine bees. As long as all the flower petals fell, some would fall. Suddenly, a wolf howl came out of the 5-star city. That wolf howl shook both inside and outside the city. Qin Yun did not hear the wolf howl from inside the secret room of the divine tree. However, Xiao Yuemei and Liang Qin heard it from outside. Xiao Yuemei used the communication talisman to contact Qin Yun and inform him of this news. Qin Yun immediately left the secret room and stood on a branch of the divine tree. He looked down at the 5-star city. On the streets of the 5-star city, many people are fleeing. What is shocking is that on the roofs of many buildings and streets, sturdy werewolves appeared one after another. "Moon, Devil, Heavenly Wolf." Qin Yun cursed in low voice. These Liu clan people really put many Moon, Devil, Heavenly Wolf curse in the city. Once they become Moon, Devil, Heavenly Wolf, they will be controlled by the Liu clan people. When needed, they will turn into ferocious werewolves. These werewolves are crazily wreaking all kind of destruction in the city. Where are the divine tree palace's disciples? Where are the patrols? Liang Qin very anxiously asked. She hates these moon devil heavenly wolves very much because she also almost transformed. The patrols have turned into moon devil heavenly wolves. Look, Xiao Yuanmei yelled. On a street, there are several werewolves wearing patrol clothes. After their bodies expanded to become werewolves, their clothes burst apart. Elder Lu Yu has stayed in the Divine Tree Palace for many years. She even pulled a group of Lu Yu clan people into the five-star city. Over the years, many people must have been secretly turned into werewolves by them, and then hid in the five-star city. Thinking of this, Qin Yun's hair cannot help but stand on end, because Lu Yu clan can use this method to develop a very formidable power in the 3 palaces and 6 sects territory. This Lu Yu clan must have secretly turned many people into moon devil heavenly wolves. When needed, they can summon werewolf army and wreak all kind of destruction. All the people in the 5-star city are fleeing out of the city. Moon devil heavenly wolves are very berserk, especially heavenly immortal transformed werewolves. Their wolf claws are very dreadful. Ordinary heavenly immortals would not be able to resist for long if they encountered moon devil heavenly wolves. They would be killed and devoured. More and more werewolves are appearing. There are actually more than 10,000 of them. In just a short period of time, the 5-star city has become an empty city, and those werewolves are crazily destroying the buildings in the city. What shocked Qin Yun is that more than half of the Divine Tree Palace's disciples have turned into werewolves. Those who have not turned into werewolves have also fled. Qin Yun took out a telescope tool and looked at the tents outside the city. He cannot help but suck in a mouthful of cold air. Several 100,000 werewolves have gathered outside the city. Motherfucker, Lu Yu clan wants to attack the Divine Tree, Qin Yun said with frown. Divine Bee King arrived beside Qin Yun. Her expression is grave as she looked at the black mass of werewolf army outside the city. Divine Tree Palace Master descended from the top of the tree. His expression is extremely unsightly as he loudly cursed. Lu Yu clan bastards, they turned more than half of my Divine Tree Palace's core disciples into werewolves. Damned old woman, this is all your fault. Divine Bee King groaned and said, if you were not so useless, how could Lu Yu clan have done this? Don't talk about me. Even the 3 palaces and 6 sects are in the same situation. Divine Tree Palace Master said with a pent-up anger. Other people are stupid pigs. Don't tell me you also want to be a stupid pig. It's clearly because you're useless. You didn't manage the Divine Tree Palace properly. That's why it became like this. Divine Bee King is also very angry. She furiously said, look, Lu Yu clan has gathered their developed werewolf army to attack the city. Now is not the time to quarrel. Qin Yun used a telescope tool to look outside and saw that Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and Xian family people are together with Elder Lu Yu and others. Defend the 5-star city. Qin Yun shouted. Divine Bee King, let Divine Tree release a barrier and completely seal the city. Don't let other werewolves in. Can you do it? It should be possible. Divine Bee King immediately closed her eyes and communicated with Divine Tree. At this time, werewolves outside the city also entered one after another. However, just as a few thousand people entered, the Divine Tree released a very strong barrier and sealed the city gate. Divine Tree has a natural barrier that can restrict people from flying inside the city. It also enveloped the entire city, making it very difficult to attack from outside when attacked. There are about 15,000 werewolves. Qin Yun said, werewolves can't fly. If they want to come up, they can only climb trees. They can't climb up. Divine Tree won't let them climb up. Don't worry. Divine Bee King said. Those who can enter the 5-star city are not weak. Why don't they join hands to deal with the werewolves? Liang Qin said. Werewolves are not easy to deal with. Moreover, their main goal is to take down the city. They're just scaring people out. This way they can prevent people inside the city from joining hands to deal with them. The werewolf army outside the city must have been hiding in the nearby mountain forest. They have already planned this. Xiao Yuanmei said. Lu Yu clan failed to control the Divine Tree before. So they started this extreme plan. Divine Tree Palace Master, you have been surrounded. Although you have a very strong barrier protecting you, it will be breached sooner or later. You better obediently hand over the divine tree. Elder Lu Yu laughed loudly and said, Lu Yu clan, you are truly audacious. Just you wait, I will not let you off. Divine Tree Palace Master furiously said. Elder Lu Yu wildly laughed and said, Just you wait? The divine tree will be ours very soon. Just you wait. We will immediately attack and take care of you. At this time, Lu Yu clan's werewolf army, as well as the people from other sects that Lu Yu clan has roped in, started shouting unceasingly. The shouts of over 1 million experts were like waves crashing over and over again. The momentum was extremely great. Divine Tree has divine fruits. Moreover, it can bear many of them. So long as they attack the divine tree, those sects can obtain the divine fruits. And Lu Yu clan also promised them that they won't take the divine fruits. They will only control the divine tree. Divine Tree Palace Master, I know Qin Yun is inside. He might be on top of the divine tree. You better capture him. Only then can you leave the 5-star city alive and go to the immortal desolate alive. Elder Lu Yu said again. Qin Yun has many entry passes. Moreover, he can refine storage magic tools with large space. Everyone wants to capture him. Lu Yu clan, the ones who will be finished are you. Qin Yun suddenly shouted loudly. Ha ha ha. Elder Lu Yu laughed loudly a few times and shouted, Attack the city. Boom, boom, boom. Many experts outside the city suddenly released their immortal force and attacked the 5-star city in unison. Although there are immortal kings and immortal emperors among them, the immortal power they released is restricted to the level of heaven immortal power. However, when they landed on the barrier, they still have a very strong power, producing burst after burst of explosions and rumbling sounds. Qin Yun, Divine Tree Palace Master, and Divine Bee King are all looking at the group of people attacking the city with grave expression. After a while, all kinds of clamor stopped. The group of people attacking the city failed. They did not break through the barrier released by the divine tree. Chapter 1646. Werewolf Evolution. Chapter 1646. Werewolf Evolution. Qin Yun and Divine Tree Palace Master did not expect that the divine tree would be attacked from all sides. Lu Yu clan planned to capture the divine tree for a long time. Divine Tree Palace Master only started to guard against them after meeting with Divine Bee King. But after the divine tree blossomed, Lu Yu clan took the opportunity to gather all the great sects outside the city gate. Moreover, they made arrangements early on and turned many Divine Tree Palace core disciples into moon devil heavenly wolves. I wonder how long the divine tree's barrier can last. Qin Yun looked at the golden moon in the sky. The golden moon can allow the ancient garden to continuously produce sacred mysterious silver crystals. It must contain very formidable energy. And for many years, the divine tree has been absorbing the golden moon's power to cultivate. I don't know. It should be able to last for a period of time. Divine Tree Palace Master's expression is grave as he looked at the golden moon. They shouldn't be able to completely control the golden moon. Divine Bee King said, The golden moon in the sky is releasing more and more intense golden light. Moreover, around the golden moon, there is a golden ring. That golden ring looks like it is condensed from golden mist. It is very beautiful. Golden Moon is indeed being controlled by Lu Yu clan. That is why it has such a great transformation and can release energy crazily. I wonder how Shu Yan is doing up there. Qin Yun is secretly worried. He used communication talisman, but cannot contact Shu Yan. He cannot confirm whether or not Shu Yan is Yao Feng's clone, so he wants to meet her face to face to confirm. Rumble. The golden moon in the sky suddenly released a golden thunder and lightning. It burst out with a heaven-shaking sound and bombarded the barrier released by the divine tree. The sudden appearance of a lightning strike also frightened many people, and the Lu Yu clan's faction outside the city burst out in cheers. Golden Moon's attack is indeed very powerful. The powerful aura that erupted from the giant golden lightning that had struck out just now was enough to make one's heart tremble in fear. Ha ha! Divine Tree Palace, "You are finished." Lu Yu madly laughed and said. At the same time, many werewolves outside the city, as well as people from various great sects, let out a burst of shouting. Outside the five-star city, all kinds of wild laughter and shouts have enveloped the area. Rumble. The golden moon released golden thunder and lightning again and hit the barrier. This time, the power was even greater, causing the entire five-star city to sink by more than 10 meters. The flat ground of the five-star city was shaking up and down. Many huge buildings collapsed and fell to the ground. When the people outside the city saw this, they were even happier. Destruction and destruction were what those people loved to do the most. The five-star city was severely damaged, so they all burst into cheers and laughter. The golden lightning fell after a period of time. It wasn't dense, but it was still very powerful. Every time it landed, the barrier would explode with a burst of fluctuations. Within the barrier, one could also feel a very strong pressure and impact. After a few wild attacks from the golden lightning, the city was reduced to ruins. Even sturdy city gates and walls had collapsed. Such a beautiful five-star city was destroyed in just a few moves. The Divine Tree Palace Lord and the Divine Bee King stood on the branches of the Divine Tree and looked at the destroyed five-star city. They both sighed. "Look at those werewolves!" Liang Qin exclaimed. Although the lightning attack released by Jin Yu was unable to break the barrier, it was able to create a very strong impact and pressure. Therefore, the 10,000-plus werewolves inside the city were pressed into the ground, and many of them were seriously injured. However, under the illumination of the golden moon, the werewolves' recovery speed is very fast. Some werewolves whose bodies are dripping with blood can quickly recover after absorbing the golden moonlight. Why is Golden Moon controlled by the Willow Moon clan? Xiao Yuanmei very angrily said. Won't those werewolves be very difficult to kill? The Divine Bee King said. The energy released by Golden Moon is very strong. The Divine Tree can take advantage of this to absorb it and make the divine fruits ripen even faster. Those werewolves below the Divine Tree wanted to climb up, but they were swept down by the Divine Tree's many tree vines. Some of them were even tied up by the Divine Tree's tree vines. Although the Divine Tree is very strong, the werewolves are not weak either. Their wolf claws are very sharp. They can quickly break the tree vines and escape. These werewolves should be easy to deal with, right? Qin Yun said to the Divine Tree Palace Master. Granny Palace Master, go take care of those werewolves. Not easy, the Divine Bee King shook his head with frown and said. Many of those werewolves are transformed from formidable heavenly immortals, Liang Qin said. After transforming into werewolves, their power will increase even more, especially when they enter berserk state. This is what she heard from Liang Yuping. Liang Yuping transformed into a werewolf before. Golden Moon released a total of 10 golden thunder and lightning, and then stopped attacking. The barrier is also becoming weaker and weaker. The people outside the city could see the golden moonlight falling down from the golden moon and falling on the huge crown of the Divine Tree. The Divine Tree is absorbing Golden Moon's power. Elder Lu Yu cursed in low voice. The Divine Tree is also taking advantage of this situation to absorb Golden Moon's power. What do we do? It doesn't matter. As long as we can break the barrier, it won't matter if the Divine Tree absorbs Golden Moon's power for a few days. Lu Yu said with sneer. We will be able to break the barrier very soon. When the sky is about to brighten, many pink flower petals suddenly floated down from the Divine Tree. Flower petals finally fell on a large scale. From afar, it looks like the Divine Tree is sprinkling beautiful pink flower petals. In the night, the flower petals emitted a pink glow, like many beautiful stars slowly falling. It is very beautiful. At the same time, the diligent divine bees also quickly flew out to collect the falling flower petals. Seeing a large number of flower petals falling down, Lu Yu and Jie Ting said frantically, Father, those flower petals are falling. Why haven't we broken the barrier yet? We can't get a single one. The crowd outside the city also let out waves of sighs. Many people are wringing their wrists and sighing because they don't even have the chance to obtain a single petal. Such beautiful petals. Even if they collected one, it would still be very good. When the huge flower petals fell, many divine bees flew over and picked them up, bringing them back to the divine tree. The people outside the city can only watch and drool. Clan leader Lu Yu snorted and said, "Don't worry. As long as we break the barrier, there will be flower petals and divine fruits in the future." Elder Lu Yu also nodded and said, "Don't worry. We will definitely be able to break the barrier before the divine fruit ripens." Qin Yun and the others also went to collect flower petals. He stored many in the Nine-Sun Divine Soul. They could be used to satisfy Mo's craving. Although the flower petals are crystal, they can absorb the energy inside. Moreover, it is very fragrant energy. Why is Golden Moon not continuing to attack? Lu Yu and Jie Ting very anxiously said, "Quickly break the barrier. The sky is about to brighten. Golden Moon is in deep sleep during the day. It absorbs sun's energy and stores it inside Golden Moon. Only when the sky turns dark can it continue to attack." Clan leader Lu Yu said. After daybreak, Divine Bee King controlled some divine bees to attack the werewolves on the ground. After daybreak, the werewolves on the ground can't recover that fast. Seeing the divine bees attack, the werewolves dug holes and hid deep underground. It is also very difficult to attack. Divine Bee King can only give up. Qin Yun called Jin Linglong and others and entered a secret room. He wants to break through quickly. There is still some time before the divine fruit ripens. He cannot waste this time. Xiao Yuanmei is already a heavenly immortal. If she helps Qin Yun cultivate, the effect will be very clear. "I want to break through and enter heavenly immortal realm first," Qin Yun said. "This will consume a lot of sacred Xian silver crystals." Jin Linglong lightly sighed and said, "Xiao Yun, we can only do this now. If we waste it, then let's waste it. Time is pressing." Because nobody knows whether or not the divine tree can block Golden Moon's attack or not. If the divine fruit does not ripen and the barrier is broken, then maybe they can only run far away. Qin Yun has several billion sacred Xian silver crystals in his hands, so he can't waste too much. 200 million genes of sacred Xian silver crystals, it should be enough to break through, right? Qin Yun took out 10 large square-shaped crystals. Each of them has 1,000,000 genes of sacred Xian silver crystals. Qin Yun cultivated inside the secret room, and unknowingly, the sky turned dark. After the sky turned dark, Golden Moon released very strong golden light and began releasing very strong golden violent thunder to bombard the divine tree's barrier. And in the extremely dilapidated city, a new situation appeared. After those werewolves absorbed a great amount of Golden Moon's energy, their bodies began to split. One turned into two, and their cultivation is more or less the same. What caused people to be most alarmed is that after those werewolves split into two, they were eaten by stronger werewolves. After werewolves eat other werewolves, they became stronger and more berserk and continue to split. The werewolf army is expanding. Because they can absorb Golden Moon's energy, they can continuously split and devour each other to cultivate stronger werewolf leaders. In just one night, there are 10 werewolf teams in the city. Each team has 3,000 werewolves, and the werewolf leaders are very powerful great werewolves. Divine Bee King wanted to stop those werewolves, but sacrificed many divine bees. Divine Tree Palace Master also went down to attack the werewolves at night, but the werewolf leaders are not weak, and there are a lot of them. Most dreadful thing is that those werewolves don't care about their lives. Even if a powerful celestial immortal attacked them, they would be injured if they're not careful. Divine Tree Palace Master has a few injured elders who were rescued. Divine Bee King is also very anxious because if this goes on, the divine tree will fall sooner or later. They are overdrafting Golden Moon's power. Divine Bee King looked at the Golden Moon in the sky and said in deep voice, "If this goes on, Golden Moon will be destroyed sooner or later. If Golden Moon is destroyed, it won't be good for them." Divine Tree Palace Master coldly groaned and said, "Those Willow Yu clan people are truly crazy." Now, they can only wait for the divine tree to bear fruit. Once the divine tree bears fruit, Qin Yun and others will eat the divine fruit and quickly become stronger. At that time, they will have enough power to fight against the Willow Yu clan. Willow Yu clan controlled the golden moon to release extremely powerful energy. Because of this, the divine tree is very pleased and quickly bore fruit. Not even 2 days after the flowers fell off, a very small divine fruit has already formed. Soon, within 5 days, we will be able to condense very high-quality divine fruit. Divine Bee King saw the result and very happily said, "Suddenly, the earth of the 5-star city trembled. The people on top of the divine tree looked down and saw a 100-meter-tall giant werewolf drilling out of the earth." Chapter 1647. Ice Serious. When the Divine Bee King saw the huge werewolf, his heart trembled. He had never thought that a werewolf could grow so big. In other words, as long as there was enough energy, werewolves could continuously grow and become very powerful. Although the power of the ancient garden was limited to the heaven immortal realm, the larger the werewolf was, the harder it was to defeat it. Moreover, the more energy it had, the harder it was to deal with it. Also, the Divine Bee King was worried that the divine tree would be destroyed by the huge werewolf. The divine tree has yet to make a complete breakthrough, so it can't enter the divine wilderness for the time being. It can't be destroyed at such a critical juncture. The Divine Bee King stood on the branch and said with a grave expression. The Divine Tree Palace Lord also landed and said solemnly, "Divine Bee King, let's work together to kill that giant werewolf. That werewolf is so powerful, he might cause great damage to the divine tree." Why does the Willow Moon clan have so many evil techniques? The Divine Bee King cursed before taking out a very long stinger and preparing for battle. The Willow Moon clan is going all out this time. It looks like they're going to stake everything on this and take down the Tree of God at all costs. The wooden staff in the Divine Tree Palace Lord's hand emitted a white glow and gradually turned into a very powerful sword. On top of the divine tree, as long as we can continue fighting, we must kill that big werewolf. Divine Bee King said, "I'll go down first." Outside the city, the people from the various sects and the large werewolf army were cheering wildly, cheering for the big werewolf. The great werewolves were born because the Willow Moon clan controlled them from the outside. The Willow Moon clan's sorcery was indeed strange and miraculous. The werewolves they created could not only split and devour each other, but they could also grow larger. A larger werewolf would require more energy, and that energy mainly came from Jinyu. The Willow Moon clan had been on the Golden Moon for many years. They had studied the Golden Moon thoroughly. Furthermore, they seemed to have a deep relationship with the Golden Moon, which was why they could control it. After the Divine Bee King swooped down, it quickly circled behind the werewolf's head. The werewolf's head was as large as a small mountain, and it was charging towards the trunk of the divine tree. The Divine Bee King flew behind the big wolfman's head and stabbed it with its stinger. The big werewolf let out an angry howl and shook its head incessantly. At the same time, the Divine Tree Palace Lord swooped down from the sky and condensed a ball of white energy. The ball of white energy was like a giant glowing white ball. It descended rapidly and landed on the big werewolf's head. Rumble! The big werewolf's head was hit, and white light exploded. The people outside the city quietened down when they saw the werewolf's head being hit. However, the werewolf only took a few steps back. Seeing this, the people outside the city all let out joyous shouts. The Divine Tree Palace Lord cursed inwardly. The werewolf's defense was stronger than she had imagined. Even though the Divine Bee King's stinger could pierce through the wolfman's stiff skull, it was useless. After all, the wolfman's skull was too big, and being stabbed by such a small thing was useless. The Divine Tree Palatial Lord had dealt a heavy blow to the werewolf's head, but the werewolf's head did not suffer any damage. It only let out a howl. From this, it can be seen how tough the werewolf's head is. Suddenly, many thick tree roots appeared on the ground. After those tree roots appeared, they immediately entangled the big werewolf. That is the divine tree's move. It used its sturdy tree roots to entangle the big werewolf. The big werewolf's power is very strong. After being entangled, even if it was attacked by the Divine Tree Palace Lord and the Divine Bee King, it could still focus on releasing powerful power to break free from the tree roots. The Divine Tree is not a combat type. Even though it has an extremely high cultivation, the Divine Tree's existence is rather special. Facing such a powerful beast, it has no way to deal with it. What's more, it still has to take care of the huge barrier to prevent the people outside from attacking. The big black werewolf constantly waved its big claws, wanting to attack the flying Divine Bee King. The Divine Tree Palace Lord is also riding a very fast Divine Bee, which is why he can fly and attack. The Divine Bee's speed is very fast, and it has very high dodging ability. The big werewolf's waving of its big claws to grab it is useless. It will always be dodged. This can't go on, Divine Bee King said in low voice. If we don't get rid of this guy, the Divine Tree will suffer sooner or later. What I fear the most is that there will be more and more of these things. Divine Tree Palace Lord cursed. Those bastards from the Willow Moon clan, they really have a lot of tricks. The Willow Moon clan controlled the Golden Moon to attack the barrier from outside, then controlled the werewolves inside to evolve and become stronger, then made a big werewolf to attack the Divine Tree. This is an attack from inside and outside. The Divine Tree Palace originally had many outstanding core disciples, as well as powerful elders. But most of those elders were tricked away by the Willow Moon clan, and most of those outstanding core disciples have become werewolves. Among the 9 great elders, only Elder Yao followed the Divine Tree Palace Lord, but he was injured when dealing with those werewolves. There are not many people in the Divine Tree Palace who can fight. The Divine Tree Palace Lord cursed while attacking. The big werewolf's body is very strong. With their strength, they can't injure it at all. Of course, the big werewolf can't do anything to them. It is nighttime. The light released by the Divine Tree is very strong, so they can see the battle between the big werewolf and the Divine Bee King and the Divine Tree Palace Lord from afar. The golden moon in the sky is getting brighter. The golden halo outside the golden moon is also getting bigger. The golden moon is releasing more energy. Although the Divine Bee King and the Divine Tree Palace Lord didn't cause any damage to the big werewolf, they still have to continue attacking, because they have to use all their strength to defeat the big werewolf to reduce the pressure on the Divine Tree. Otherwise, the Divine Tree will be controlled by the Willow Moon clan before it can successfully bear fruit. Divine Bee King. The Divine Tree is absorbing the power of the Golden Moon now. Will it be frozen like before? Divine Tree Palace Lord asked while fighting. No, the Divine Tree was tricked once before. There won't be a second time. Divine Bee King's sharp thorns can pierce the big werewolf's skin and bones, but it is useless. The big werewolf's recovery is very strong, and its skin is thick, so it can't hurt at all. The Divine Bee King and the Divine Tree Palace Lord are doing their best to fight the big werewolf. When it was late at night, the earth suddenly trembled. The ground of 5-Star City gradually bulged, and a big bump appeared. Another big werewolf came out of the ground. The Golden Moon is not only releasing golden lightning to attack the barrier, it is also releasing energy to nurture a very powerful big werewolf. Seeing the big werewolf appear, the Divine Tree Palace Lord and the Divine Bee King immediately cursed. This can't go on. Divine Bee King frowned. Divine Tree Palace Lord, think of a way. What can I do? I can only wait for Little Chin to become strong. This brat has a lot of tricks. We can only rely on him. Divine Tree Palace Lord has a teleportation talisman in her hand. She can teleport away at any time. But she didn't leave because she is the Divine Tree Palace Lord. If she suddenly leaves at such a critical time, she will feel bad. She also blames herself in her heart. The Willow Moon clan has gradually developed to this state, mainly because she has been lazy for many years and neglected it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have to face that group of powerful werewolves. Divine Tree Palace Lord, what's going on? Suddenly, a cold voice came out from the tree. It is Bing Xing's voice. Bing Xing, You're here. That's great. The Divine Tree Palace Lord said in pleasant surprise. Quickly deal with those big werewolves. We can't deal with them. Don't let those big werewolves destroy the Divine Tree. Bing Xing is wearing a white dress. Her beautiful face is cold. She is holding a white long sword and standing on a tree branch. Her ice-cold, beautiful eyes are looking at the big werewolf in the distance. The newly born big werewolf is more than 100 meters tall. His entire body is covered in black, stiff fur. His eyes are flickering with red light, filled with a demonic and fierce look. The werewolf madly rushed over, his footsteps causing the ground to tremble. Divine Bee King arranged a divine bee for Bing Xing to stand on top of it. I'll deal with that werewolf, Bing Xing shouted softly. The divine bee also quickly flew towards the werewolf. When flying over, Bing Xing waved her long sword and a white sword image streaked across the night sky. In the blink of an eye, many long swords condensed from white ice fell from the sky like a torrential rain. Countless ice swords flew over. Moreover, they are extremely sharp. They brought with them an ice-cold aura and landed on the werewolf's body. Bing Xing secretly gritted her teeth. She is an immortal emperor, but the immortal power she condensed is only at the heaven immortal level. As a result, when the ice swords she condensed landed on the werewolf's body, not many of them were able to pierce into the werewolf's body. However, when the ice swords entered the werewolf's body, they still had a pretty good effect. It made the werewolf feel cold all over. The werewolf's speed also slowed down a lot. Where's Xiaoyun? Bing Xing asked. He's in seclusion. The Divine Tree Palace Master shouted softly. The Divine Tree wants to condense a divine fruit for him to eat. We can't let the werewolf affect the Divine Tree. When Bing Xing heard this, she secretly frowned. She previously entered a special place inside the Divine Tree, so she's been cultivating inside. She did not know what was happening outside. After she came out, someone told her that a powerful werewolf was approaching, so she came to take a look. Although there are many Guanghan Palace disciples here, it is not of much use for them to take action. Their strength is about the same as the elders of the Divine Tree Palace. Those elders are all injured, so it is the same for them to go on stage. What they need to do now is to protect the Divine Tree as much as possible and not be affected by the werewolf. Bing Xing arrived above the big werewolf. The big werewolf raised his head and opened his mouth, spewing out a large amount of black energy. Bing Xing's expression turned cold. Her eyes flashed with a cold light. She waved her hand downwards. Her fluttering sleeves swept out a large amount of white, icy mist. In the blink of an eye, a huge white tornado with frost formed and enveloped the big werewolf. The black, evil energy spewed out of the big werewolf's mouth was also swept away by the tornado. The ice and snow tornado released by Bing Xing is condensed from the powerful immortal power in her body. Although it is limited to the strength of the heaven immortal realm, the effect is very good. Chapter 1648. 1648, Chapter 1648. Wolf Hunting Squad. Divine Bee King and Divine Tree Palace Master are dealing with another big werewolf. When they saw that Bing Xing alone can temporarily suppress the big werewolf, they are secretly shocked. To kill this kind of thing, you need a strong enough weapon. Bing Xing's ice-cold eyes looked at the big werewolf below and said in a deep voice, I don't have a good weapon. She is also constantly releasing immortal power to completely freeze the big werewolf. Divine Bee King and Divine Tree Palace Master are somewhat ashamed because they don't have that kind of good weapon, and they're also not as good as Bing Xing. Bing Xing cultivated inside the Divine Tree for a period of time and absorbed a lot of Golden Moon's power. The strength of her immortal power increased by a lot, but because of the restriction, it did not show. Bing Xing, does little Qin have that kind of weapon? Divine Tree Palace Master asked. Maybe he does. How long has he been in seclusion? Bing Xing asked. 1 or 2 days. He said he wants to become a heaven immortal. Divine Bee King said. He was only at the 9th level of Golden Immortal Realm before, It won't be that easy to break through to Heaven Immortal, Bing Xing said with a frown. If he just stepped into the Heaven Immortal realm, it won't be enough to deal with this kind of werewolf. Qin Yun is still in seclusion, cultivating with a few women. Although the commotion outside is big, he did not sense it inside the divine tree. The inside of the divine tree is very quiet. Qin Yun is also very seriously absorbing the sacred mysterious silver crystal's same power. He has a powerful immortal devil's sacred body, and coupled with Nether Sun's terrifying devouring power, he can quickly absorb the saint power inside the sacred mysterious silver crystal into his body. After that, he will pass it on to the other women and let them help him refine and purify it. Those women's cultivation path is not as difficult as Qin Yun's, so they became Heaven Immortals very early on. When they're cultivating together, they will give their refined saint power to Qin Yun. This way, Qin Yun can improve even faster. Just as Qin Yun expected, he used nearly 200 million genes of sacred mysterious silver crystal to become a Heaven Immortal. What made him pleasantly surprised is that the Heaven Immortal power contains more saint power, meaning that this immortal power is even stronger. He guessed that as long as he becomes an immortal king, the immortal power in his body might be completely transformed into saint power ahead of time. After breaking through, Qin Yun opened his eyes and said with a smile, "I have finally become a Heaven Immortal." Although he hadn't reached the 9th tier of the Heaven Celestial stage, this feeling was great. My celestial immortal strength contains quite a lot of saint energy. Indeed, more than us. Is this the benefit of cultivating a formidable sacred body? Jian Linglong said with light smile. They cultivated together with Qin Yun, so they're very clear about the situation inside Qin Yun's body. Let's go out and take a look at the situation outside. Qin Yun said with a grin, then used mysterious penetration divine ability to quickly fly out. After he went out, he saw a big werewolf covered in ice in the distance. As for Bing Xing, she is standing on the back of a divine bee, releasing powerful ice-cold immortal power to freeze that big werewolf. The divine tree palace master and the divine bee king were frantically attacking a werewolf. They couldn't completely suppress the big werewolf. Qin Yun is also dumbfounded when he saw the 200-meter-tall werewolves. He hadn't been in seclusion for long, and such a situation had already occurred. "Sister Bing Xing, do you need help?" Qin Yun spoke and flew over. He used light, transformation, sacred pupil, and arrived in front of Bing Xing in the blink of an eye. He looked at Bing Xing's peerlessly beautiful jade-like face and smelled the cold fragrance drifting on Bing Xing's body. He felt that Bing Xing's temperament has changed greatly. "Yes, do you have any good weapons?" Bing Xing said softly. When she saw Qin Yun looking at her with affectionate eyes, she felt an indescribable joy in her heart. Qin Yun said with a frown, "Werewolf's regenerative ability is very strong. Weapons are not very effective against these werewolves." "Then what method do you have?" Bing Xing looked at the golden moon in the sky. She also knows that it is the golden moon's energy that made the werewolves very strong. "Sister Bing Xing, hold on for a while." Qin Yun flew not far away and punched the ground a few times, creating a very deep crater. Then, he took out a very long chain. He obtained this chain from the Heart-Yang realm and is also very useful. One in the chain has a sharp barb. As long as one's strength is strong enough, they can use the sharp barb to pierce through skin and flesh. The people outside the city used a telescope tool and saw Qin Yun flying out from the sky. Elder Lu Yu cursed in low voice. "Isn't that Qin Yun? Wasn't he the one who flew up with Falling Moon Palace Master? He can fly, it's indeed Qin Yun." "Father, who is that beauty? Why is she so powerful? Is she from the Divine Tree Palace?" Lu Yu Jieting asked. "The people from the Guanghan Palace are indeed very strong." Elder Lu Yu groaned. Patriarch Lu Yu said with a confident smile, "Don't worry. They won't be able to kill the Overlord Werewolf. Even if they have very strong weapons, they can only injure the werewolves because their recovery speed is very fast." "Patriarch, what if it's daybreak? Lu Yu Jieting said. When it's daybreak, they must be tired. When the two overlord werewolf join hands, they will definitely be able to climb up the divine tree and disrupt its normal bearing. Patriarch Lu Yu chuckled and said, Why hasn't Jinyu broken through the barrier yet? Yang and I sect master said. That's only a matter of time. Patriarch Lu Yu has an expression as if victory is in her grasp. She laughed and said, Before the harvest, we must always wait patiently. Many big shots outside the city are very worried when they saw Qinyan appear, especially those people from the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and Xian family. They know that Qinyan has many methods. Even if his cultivation is not high, with those damn methods, he can torment many immortal kings and immortal emperors until they complain to the heavens. After Qinyan created a big hole, he poured a chain into the 9 heavens dragon line cannon. Then, he controlled the cannon to absorb the power of the sacred Xian silver crystal and shot out the long thorns on the chain. The chain can freely lengthen. After the long thorns flew out, the chain is still connected to the 9 heavens dragon line cannon. The long thorns shot towards the back of the big werewolf's neck. After penetrating the ice layer, it also pierced through the big werewolf's neck. Sister Bingxing, attack that guy. I'll pull him into the big hole from behind. Qinyan shouted. All right. Bingxing waved her hands and shot out balls of formidable immortal power that bombarded the big werewolf's body, causing him to retreat. At the same time, Qinyan released the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon. The Devil Star Tyrant Dragon was injured before and after a long period of time. It has already recovered. Qinyan put in many materials to refine the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon, but later on, it was somewhat unable to keep up. However, it still has pretty good power. Under Qinyan's control, the 2-meter-tall Devil Star Tyrant Dragon suddenly became very big. It is dozens of meters tall. The gigantic Devil Star Tyrant Dragon has 3 mighty dragon heads, 3 heads and 6 arms. 2 of the 6 arms are mantis blades, and the other 4 are dragon claws. The Devil Star Tyrant Dragon took the chain from Qinyan's hand and vigorously pulled the big werewolf. Qinyan took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron and placed it in the big hole, making it very big. He wants the big werewolf to fall into the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron. If the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron becomes big, it can also cover the big werewolf. However, under the divine tree, it is very difficult for Qinyan to control a big thing to float down. Therefore, he can only dig a big hole and place the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron down. When the people outside the city saw this scene, they are immediately dumbfounded. Qinyan can actually release a very big monster with 3 heads and 6 arms. This caused the people outside the city to let out a burst of exclamations, causing a great commotion. Everyone can see that the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon has 3 very mighty dragon heads. Furthermore, there are many dragon scale armor on its body and 2 pairs of powerful dragon claws. No matter how you look at it, it is a very powerful thing. The big werewolf sealed in ice is now being dragged into the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron by the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon. Devil Star Tyrant Dragon, well done, Qinyan said with a smile. Wait until you eat the big werewolf in the future. You can also evolve. Bingxing let out a long sigh. She knew that Qinyan is very resourceful, and the Divine Tree Palace Master and Divine Bee King in the distance are secretly shocked. As soon as Qinyan came out, he captured a big werewolf. Those Liu clan people outside the city are all cursing and swearing. That big werewolf absorbed a lot of Golden Moon's power to evolve. It was captured just like that, because even if many big shots of the sex besieged it, they might not be able to capture a big werewolf. There's only one big werewolf left. Qinyan and Bingxing are rushing over. As soon as Bingxing arrived, she released formidable icy cold power, causing the big werewolf to become a lot slower. Then, Qinyan controlled the 9 Heavens Dragon Line cannon to shoot out chains that pierced into the werewolf's body. Just like before, Qinyan made a big hole and placed the heavenly lion-dragon suppressing cauldron inside. This time it is much smoother than before, because with the help of Divine Bee King and Divine Tree Palace Master, the big werewolf entered the heavenly lion-dragon suppressing cauldron in a short while. Then, Qin Yun let the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon enter and eat the two big werewolves. One must know that the Devil Star Tyrant Dragon has a very strong devouring and fusion power. It only needs a little time to fuse with the two big werewolves. Finally killed the two big werewolves. Divine Tree Palace Master and Divine Bee King landed on a large tree branch and gasped for breath. Qin Yun and Bing Xing are very spirited. They did not consume much energy. Sister Bing Xing, there are still many werewolves here, Qin Yun said with a smile. Join hands with me and kill those werewolves. Those werewolves are not easy to kill. Divine Bee King shook her head and said, moreover, those werewolves are definitely hiding. It won't be easy to find them. Qin Yun took out a white cloak and handed it over to Bing Xing. He said, Sister Bing Xing, this is a flying cloak. You can put it on and fly. This kind of cloak is made from floating cloud runes. It can also fly within the 5 elements. After Bing Xing put it on and tested it, she said with a chuckle, it can indeed fly. Divine Tree Palace Master and Divine Bee King are also very astonished. Qin Yun can actually refine such a good thing. Shao Qin, are you really going to hunt those werewolves? Many of those werewolves are transformed from very strong heavenly immortals. Divine Tree Palace Master said, somewhat worriedly. Indeed, and it's very difficult to find them, especially at night. They must be hiding below and secretly becoming stronger. Divine Bee King said, it's hard to say whether or not we can find them. Bing Xing said, don't worry, it will be very smooth for us. Chapter 1649. Retreat into the Divine Tree. The reason why Qin Yun allowed Xiao Yuanmei to join them is because her mirror can detect werewolf soul bodies. She can quickly find werewolves. All right, Xiao Yuanmei said with a smile. I will definitely find the werewolf. Qin Yun took out a flying cloak and gave it to Xiao Yuanmei to put on. After Xiao Yuanmei put on the flying cloak, she happily flew for a while. Then she took out a small mirror and shouted, there are werewolves nearby. Bing Xing nodded at Qin Yun. Let's go. Let's quickly clean up the werewolves. Don't let them turn into those big werewolves again. The power released by the golden moon in the sky gradually weakened. In order to create the two big werewolves, Golden Moon had released a lot of energy, and the Divine Tree had absorbed a lot of it. The Willow Moon clansmen outside the city were all hopping mad. The Overlord werewolf, Overlord, that they had painstakingly produced was actually captured by Qin Yun. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and Xian family people feel that it is very normal. When they saw Qin Yun appear, they knew that the situation would be reversed. Hurry up and break that barrier. Qin Yun's current cultivation is not strong enough. He can easily kill him. An old man from the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate said, if Qin Yun had enough power, he would have killed the werewolf just now. Before he becomes stronger, quickly break through the barrier and control the Divine Tree. The middle-aged immortal said, once the divine fruit of the Divine Tree ripens and Qin Yun eats it, it is very likely that he will quickly break through. At that time, it will be even more difficult for us to kill him. Long Family's old man coldly snorted and said, that bastard Qin Yun, this bit of cultivation is enough to give people a headache. Lu Yu replied, of course I know. The elders of the other sects were all blaming the Willow Moon clan for wasting the energy of the Golden Moon. They shouldn't have used it to nurture the two werewolves. The energy of the Golden Moon was not only used to nurture the two werewolf overlords, but it was also used to strengthen the other werewolves. And now, those little werewolves will be quickly taken down by Qin Yun. If he could concentrate the power of the Golden Moon to break the barrier, then he could quickly weaken the barrier. The Willow Moon clan also knew that their strategy was wrong, but they refused to admit it. Xiao Yuanmei arrived at a ruin and said, there are 5 werewolves below. They are in a rather deep place. How can we get them out? I'll dig a hole and then Sister Bingxing will release her ice immortal power and freeze the werewolf below. Qinyan said, "All right, you go ahead and dig a hole. I could take action at any time." Bingxing nodded. Qinyan pressed 2 fingers together and used the piercing mountain-splitting earth finger towards the ground. A large hole immediately appeared in the ground, and it even split open in all directions. At the same time, Bingxing released a very strong wave of cold ice power and poured it into the hole. The hole and the cracks around it were immediately filled with frost, and the werewolves below were also frozen. "I'll get them out," Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. She waved the mirror in her hand, and a large golden palm appeared on the mirror surface. Furthermore, a very long arm also appeared. Just like that, the golden palm reached down and grew larger, instantly grabbing the 5 werewolves. "What hand is this?" Qinyan exclaimed. "Our martial spirit." Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said, "Awesome, right? Let's continue killing werewolves." Bingxing smiled and looked around. The ground of the ruined 5-star city looks very calm, but there are many werewolves hidden deep underground. The sky gradually brightened. Qinyan and company also killed many moon devil heavenly werewolves. Most of them were thrown into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and eaten by the devil star overlord dragon. Their remnant souls were stored in the soul sealing pearl. Divine Tree Palace Master and Divine Bee King, who were on top of the Divine Tree, originally thought that it would be very difficult for Qinyan and company to kill those werewolves, but now they have killed many of them. After daybreak, the werewolves became even weaker, and Qinyan, Bingxing, and Xiao Yuanmei joined hands and quickly wiped out the werewolves in the city. When the Luyu people outside the city saw their werewolves being captured, they felt extremely pained and cursed loudly. In just a single day, all the werewolves in the city have been killed. The threat inside the barrier has been completely eliminated. And what makes people worried is that night has fallen. During the day, Golden Moon can condense a lot of energy and then attack at night. The barrier is getting weaker and weaker. Qinyan and company are worried that the Divine Tree's barrier won't last until tonight. As the sky gradually darkened, Qinyan and company's mood also became heavier and heavier. Especially Divine Bee King. She let out a long sigh and said, "The barrier might not be able to last until tonight." Qinyan looked at the divine fruits not far away and said, "The divine fruits are about to mature, right? Tonight, if Golden Moon's energy is strong enough, the divine fruits should be able to mature. At that time, all the divine bees will move out and quickly transport the divine fruits back to the divine tree." Divine Bee King said, "The defense inside the divine tree's hive is very strong. When the time comes, we will hide inside and seal the entrance. We will be able to hold on for a while." The sky darkened. As soon as the golden moon's ring appeared, it shot down a very strong golden thunder and bombarded the divine tree's barrier. At the same time, the divine tree is crazily absorbing the golden moon's energy to accelerate the ripening of the divine fruits. Luyu people are controlling the golden moon and releasing power to bombard the divine tree's barrier. They are certain that the divine tree's barrier won't last until daybreak. After the sky darkened, rumbling sounds echoed unceasingly and the earth trembled from time to time. The divine fruits on the divine tree also quickly grew bigger. The golden moon's energy is indeed very strong. The divine tree is also doing its best to absorb the energy. As long as the divine tree finishes bearing fruit, it will enter a state of transformation. Once the transformation is successful, it will be able to go to the divine desolate. Divine Bee King said somewhat worriedly, "I hope the divine tree can hold on. This is a great calamity for the divine tree. So long as it can survive this great calamity, it will be able to enter the divine desolate. We will definitely do our best to help the divine tree survive this calamity." Qinyan said, "Although those guys have a lot of people, they aren't that strong. I can block them for a while." Bingxing's expression is cold. Her ice-cold power is very dreadful. She can freeze a large area in an instant. Therefore, she is confident in saying these words. Late at night, The barrier is getting thinner and thinner. The people on the divine tree can feel that every time Golden Moon attacks, it will cause a very strong fluctuation. Boom! Following the explosive sound of golden thunder, an incomparably strong energy wave pressed down. The barrier has been breached. At this time, the divine fruits on the divine tree burst out with golden light. The divine fruits have also matured. Quickly take the divine fruits. Divine Bee King shouted. A large number of divine bees are already on standby near the divine fruits. The people outside the city are all shouting in excitement. The barrier has been breached. Kill your way in. Charge. The divine tree is ours. The divine fruits have matured. Snatch them. Kill them all. Snatch them all. Kill Qingyun. All kinds of excited and wild shouts came from all directions. One after another berserk aura violently surged towards the divine tree. The people outside the city are like demons, and all kinds of werewolves are howling crazily. The divine bees need time to retreat. Divine Bee King said anxiously, "Those guys are about to attack. Can we stop them? Sister Bingxing, come with me. The others stay here and pick the divine fruits." Qingyun said anxiously, "Xiaoyun, let me go by myself. You enter the divine tree." Bingxing said, "No, I need your help." Qingyun took out the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon, then pulled Bingxing's lily-white hand and flew towards the sky. Qingyun quickly activated the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon, extracted the holy oil from the small black bottle, and combined it with the sacred mysterious silver crystal's sacred power to release an incomparably intense sacred flame. A golden flame serpent suddenly shot down from the sky and swept towards the group of werewolves at the very front. The incomparably intense sacred flame burned a large number of werewolves to death in a short while. And the group of Luyu clan people at the very front were burned to the point of jumping and screaming miserably. Seeing the sacred flame descend, many big shots started cursing and retreating one after another. They are also afraid of the sacred flame. "Sister Bingxing, help me cool it down," Qingyun shouted. Bingxing also sensed the intense heat emitted by the cannon barrel. She promptly extended her hand and shot out a ball of white cold air. She released it unceasingly and covered the 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon's barrel. After it cooled down, Qingyun is very relieved to release the berserk sacred flame. Qingyun had a lot of holy oil in the small black bottle. He also has a lot of sacred mysterious silver crystals. Therefore, he can release fire without any regard for his life and form a flame barrier. Those people can't fly under the divine tree, and they are also very afraid of the sacred flame. Therefore, it is very difficult for them to pass through the sacred flame barrier. The werewolves and many sect disciples who charged at the very front all fell into the sacred flame barrier and were burned to ashes. Qingyun and Bingxing flew around the divine tree again and again. They constantly shot down intense sacred flame from the sky, burning into a large circular barrier and forming a firewall, making it difficult for those people to approach the divine tree. Boom! Jinyu suddenly released golden thunder and attacked Qingyun, and Bingxing dodged. Bingxing held Qingyun and quickly dodged. However, Jinyu's golden thunder became more and more concentrated. It enveloped a large area. Fortunately, Bingxing has enough power to block those dreadful golden thunder. Some golden thunder even bombarded the sacred flame and scattered it. "Retreat!" Divine Bee King shouted. "The divine fruit has not been completely plucked. There is still 30% of it left. And those divine bees have all drilled into the divine tree. Little Qin, Bingxing, quickly come back." Divine Bee King shouted. "Burn all the leaves of the divine tree, quickly." Qingyun and Bingxing immediately flew back. When they flew back, they used cannon barrels to aim at the many branches and leaves of the divine tree and released intense sacred flame to ignite the branches and leaves. The people of the divine tree palace have already retreated inside the divine tree. They burn the branches and leaves because they don't want those people to obtain the divine fruit. The divine tree's huge treetop was immediately ignited by the sacred flame and burned with raging flames. In the night, it looks like an incomparably huge torch. Qin Yun and Bing Xing passed through the sea of fire and entered the beehive. Liu Yu clan and the people from the various sects also arrived at the roots of the divine tree. Damn Qin Yun! He would rather burn the divine fruit than give it to us. Clan leader Liu Yu said angrily. Break the divine tree, quickly. Break the divine tree? Then do we not want the divine tree anymore? A big shot from a sect asked. As long as the tree roots are here. The divine tree has entered its transformation period. Once it succeeds, it will enter the divine desolate. At that time, we won't even have a fart. Qin Yun and the others are still hiding inside the divine tree and eating the divine fruit to become stronger. Only by quickly destroying the divine tree can we stop them. Clan leader Liu Yu said anxiously. Chapter 1650. A great calamity is imminent after Qin Yun and Bing Xing entered the beehive inside the divine tree. The divine bee king entered and let the divine tree seal the entrance. There were many spacious halls inside the beehive, and there were many levels that could accommodate a large number of divine bees and humans. After Qin Yun entered, he cursed in a low voice. Those bandits! What right do they have to snatch the divine tree? This divine tree grew on the golden moon. After the golden moon was controlled, the Willow Moon clan was not satisfied and wanted to control this divine tree. They are bandits. Bandits specialize in robbing. Liang Qin said. Divine Bee King said, Big brother, the rest is up to you. If you reach the 9th level of the heaven celestial stage, you might be able to deal with them. I wonder if it will work. Qin Yun said with a frown. Can the divine fruits here be eaten continuously? In the immortal desolate, as long as one could eat a few of those divine fruits, they would no longer have any effect. Of course, the divine bee king said, these divine fruits are very high quality, saint mysterious silver crystals. Their saint power is close to divine power, and they have even turned into liquid. There's no time to lose. Hurry up and start cultivating. The Divine Tree Palace Master said, the divine tree should be able to hold on for a period of time, right? The Divine Bee King nodded and said, the divine tree is transforming. As long as the transformation succeeds, we can enter the divine wilderness. However, neither the divine tree nor I know when it will completely transform. The Divine Bee King was nurtured by the divine tree, so he could communicate with the divine tree telepathically. He was very worried that the divine tree would be chopped off before its transformation was complete. If that happened, his ascension to the divine wilderness would fail. Bing Xing said to Qin Yun, Xiao Yun, I'll cultivate with you. Bing Xing often dual cultivated with Qin Yun in the past. Furthermore, the two of them could carry out mental cultivation, allowing them to improve even faster. All right. Qin Yun nodded, then looked at the Divine Bee King and said, if anything happens, immediately call us. Don't be afraid of disturbing us. The divine fruits are all in the hall where the heart of the divine tree is. The Divine Bee King said, you guys can cultivate inside. When the heart of the divine tree transforms, the energy it releases might be useful to you guys. Qin Yun asked, by the way, what about the king of divine fruits? The Divine Bee King smiled and said he is also inside. As for which one, I'm not too sure. You guys look for it yourselves. I will go out and take a look at the situation outside. Qin Yun hurriedly led the women to the main hall in the middle. It was filled with many sparkling divine fruits. So big, it must be delicious, Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. The divine fruit was very large and round, reaching 1 meter in height. Its skin was covered in a layer of light, golden, transparent hard shell, and one could see the juicy flesh inside. If we eat these things directly, how long will it take? Qin Yun arrived beside a divine fruit and said, it's not easy to get. Jin Linglong said with smile, Xiao Yun, where is your Dan transformation heavenly furnace? Use the pill melting heavenly furnace to refine it. That's right, Dan Transformation Heavenly Furnace can absorb sacred Qian silver crystals, and I have enough sacred Qian silver crystals. I can also bring out the effect of the divine fruit. Qin Yun said with smile. We might not need to use the Saint Profound silver crystal. Xiang Yalin smiled lightly. The divine fruit contains a lot of energy, which can be absorbed by the pill transformation heavenly furnace. There are thousands of divine fruits here. We won't be able to use them all. Let's give it a try. Qin Yun took out the pill transformation heavenly furnace. Bing Xing is watching from the side, waiting for Qin Yun to begin. Xiao Yuanmei made a hole on the surface of the great divine fruit, then took out the flesh and ate it. So sweet, so tender, so delicious. Xiao Yuanmei ate until the corner of her mouth is filled with golden fruit juice. She took out a large bowl, and handed it over to Bing Xing. Sister Bing Xing, have a taste. Xiao Yuanmei did not eat alone. She took out many bowls and distributed them to everyone. The divine fruits here are indeed very delicious. After Qin Yun ate them, he kept praising them. Moreover, they contain a lot of energy between saint and divine power. That is to say, very high-quality saint power is about to transform into divine power. Mo, who is inside the nine-sun divine soul, also obtained several large bowls. She is happily eating the divine fruits inside. Qin Yun's pill transformation heavenly furnace very quickly refined a pill. The divine fruit can directly transform into a pill. It doesn't need to absorb other energy. What's going on? Qin Yun is very astonished. You are now seriously refining pills. It's different from refining instant space sacred pearl. Lan Fengjin said with charming smile. Master, you didn't use this pill furnace to refine pills before, right? Qin Yun said with a smile. It seems like I still don't understand how powerful this pill transformation heavenly furnace is. The pill transformation heavenly furnace is something from the fifth pearl of the nine-sun divine soul. It did not disappoint Qin Yun. It can give him great help. This made him look forward to the sixth pearl very much, but it is very difficult to break through the mental barrier of the sixth pearl. He guessed that only immortal emperors would be able to break through. After Qin Yun ate the pill, his expression suddenly changed. His face is completely red, and his entire body is emitting golden hot air. Oh no, the energy is too strong. Seeing Qin Yun's reaction, Bing Xing walked over and grabbed Qin Yun's hand. She only felt an incomparably scorching heat. She said anxiously, quickly begin joint cultivation and help him share the energy. The other women all put down the large bowls in their hands and sat on the ground hand in a circle. Qin Yun's hands are holding Bing Xing and Jian Linglong. Because they're the strongest, they can withstand the berserk energy released by Qin Yun. Bing Xing's cultivation is the highest. Now she is the one leading the release of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, controlling the entire situation. After Qin Yun ate the pill, the energy burst out and almost caused his immortal devil's sacred body to swell up. Luckily, Bing Xing is here. She can absorb the energy from his body and refine it, then slowly guide it to other women's bodies, allowing those women with low cultivation to enter the joint cultivation state with Qin Yun and stabilize the situation. Bing Xing has the most experience in joint cultivation with Qin Yun. In her heart, Bing Xing misses the days when she cultivated with Qin Yun in the Immortal Weapon Palace Hall. Back then, she could often be alone with Qin Yun. Divine Bee King drilled his head out of the surface of the tree bark and sensed a burst of scorching heat wave pressing down. He looked up and saw that the branches and leaves of the tree crown are burning. These sacred flames are so strong. Divine Bee King exclaimed in admiration in his heart. Fortunately, the divine tree's trunk is very resistant to fire and is not afraid of being burned by sacred flames. Otherwise, they would not dare to act so recklessly. He looked down and saw that several thousand meters below, there are many people frantically attacking the tree trunk. They are the people of Willow Yu clan, various great sects, and immortal desolate's major powers. They want to break the tree trunk. Daybreak, Golden Moon's energy disappeared, and the divine tree's crown is burning very fiercely. Charcoal containing sacred flame began dropping down one after another. When it smashed into the ground, it splashed up a large amount of flames that carried the sacred flame. Those with low cultivation bases were not able to withstand it. Those people with low cultivation were immediately ignited by the sacred flame. Not long after, a large group of people quickly retreated from the tree root, and loud cries kept coming out unceasingly. Many people were burned by the sacred flame. Their frail, immortal bodies could not withstand the sacred flames burning and were burned to ashes in a short moment. As a large amount of tree branches continuously fell, more and more people and werewolves died below. Even the big shots of the various great sects can only temporarily retreat because they're also very afraid of the sacred flame. It must be known that the divine tree's branches contain energy close to divine power. It can make the sacred flame burn even more fiercely. Therefore, the flames on the fallen tree branches are much more intense than the sacred flame ignited by the sacred oil. Divine Bee King laughed mischievously and said, "These guys are still too inexperienced." This is also the reason why Divine Bee King told Qin Yun to ignite the tree branches. This way, he can temporarily force back the people near the tree root. Lu Yu and the others cursed unceasingly. They discovered that although they have broken through the barrier, it is not as smooth as they imagined. Many big shots thought that once the Golden Moon barrier is broken, they would immediately attack and climb the divine tree to pluck a large amount of divine fruits. Moreover, they would capture Qin Yun and the others and obtain a large number of entry tokens. But the reality is that after the barrier was broken, the vanguard troops were burned to ashes by the sacred flame, and the divine fruits were also taken away by the divine bees. What made them flustered and exasperated is that the rest of the divine fruits were burned by Qin Yun. When the burning divine fruits fell to the ground, they burst out with very strong sacred flame and burned many people to death. Forget about capturing Qin Yun. They didn't even get a single strand of Qin Yun's hair, and many people died. Many big shots of the sects began to complain because their losses are very great and now they can't get anything. Even if Lu Yu clan gets the tree, they don't know how long it will take for the divine tree to bloom and bear fruit again. It must be known that the divine tree has lost all its branches and leaves. It will take a very long time for it to grow again. The promised great harvest did not come. Instead, many people were burned to ashes and used as fertilizer. Everyone, don't worry, we still have Golden Moon. Once the sky turns dark, it will be their time of death. Lu Yu promptly shouted, "Our chances of victory are very high. We can definitely capture them." Indeed, Lu Yu clan still has Golden Moon. That Golden Moon's power is obvious to all. Lu Yu said again, "Friends, after we capture the divine tree, our Lu Yu clan will control Golden Moon to release energy to let the divine tree quickly grow and bear fruit. We will welcome an even greater harvest. Indeed, when the time comes, there will be many divine fruit kings. I guarantee that everyone will be able to obtain one." Lu Yu clan is also trying to appease everyone. They need to gather everyone's power to surround Qin Yun and the others. Just their Lu Yu clan alone won't dare to fight Divine Bee King head-on. Divine Bee King heard their conversation from above and is very worried about Golden Moon after the sky turns dark. Golden Moon won't be able to last long if they use it like this. I am afraid that they will use Golden Moon to perish together with the Divine Tree. Divine Bee King said in his heart, "Divine Tree and Golden Moon are very sacred existences of ancient gardens. Moreover, they can only grow by mutually supporting each other. Golden Moon also wants to transform and ascend to Divine Desolate, but now it is controlled by Lu Yu clan. If Divine Tree is controlled by Lu Yu clan, then the entire ancient garden will belong to Lu Yu clan. Lu Yu clan people retreated far away. They want to wait for all the burnt branches to fall down. Moreover, they want to wait until nighttime to let Golden Moon attack again." Divine Bee King finished checking the situation and anxiously paced back and forth. Chapter 1651. Top Thunder. Divine Bee King waved his hand and said, "They will break through sooner or later. Those guys are crazy. They want to continue controlling the golden moon to release formidable energy. What? If this goes on, the golden moon won't be able to withstand it." Divine Tree Palace Master is also very worried. Indeed, if the golden moon falls down and presses down on the divine tree, we will all be finished. Divine Bee King very anxiously said, "They can only worry. They can do nothing. There is still the Lu Yu clan on the golden moon. They can't pass through the barrier released by the golden moon and can't get on the golden moon. Even if they can kill Lu Yu clan leader and others, they still can't stop the Lu Yu clan because the strongest people of the Lu Yu clan are on the golden moon." Qin Yun is cultivating in the main hall. He ate a pill refined from divine fruit and can refine it in an hour. His cultivation can only advance a bit. Now he is using 10 divine fruits to refine a pill because he feels that he can refine that many in an hour. He is very clear about his own potential. After all, potential is forced out. Pill Transformation Heavenly Furnace is indeed a very rare divine tool. Even if 10 divine fruits are placed inside, they can still quickly condense into a pill. When Qin Yun ate the pill, Bing Xing and Jianling Long are ready to guide the energy for him at any time. After eating, Qin Yun let out a deep roar. His body swelled up and split open. Bing Xing and Jianling Long quickly guided the energy out. Bing Xing is an immortal emperor. It is very easy for her to guide the energy. She can endure it. Although the refining speed is a bit longer than before, it took half an hour, but the effect is very good. "I will also eat," Bing Xing said. "I can endure it. This way I can continue cultivating and my speed will be even faster." Qin Yun can't find the Divine Fruit King because all the divine fruits here look the same. Next, he refined even more pills. Jianling Long and Bing Xing both ate those pills. Moreover, they can absorb the energy that burst out from Qin Yun's body. This is also because they have very high cultivation. But Xiao Yuemei and others can't. They can't endure this kind of berserk energy. When they are cultivating together, they consume divine fruits very quickly. They consume more than 300 in a day. One day passed, and Qin Yun reached 2nd level Heavenly Immortal Realm. Although it was already very fast, he felt that he might have to consume even more divine fruits in the end. When you step into the 5th level of the Heaven Immortal stage, find the Divine Fruit King and eat it. Bing Xing said, "The Divine Fruit King should be able to let you step into the 7th or 8th level of the Heaven Immortal stage. As long as Qin Yun's cultivation level was at the 7th or 8th Firmament Sky Mortal Realm, he would be powerful enough. This was because immortal powers were limited to the 9th Firmament Sky Mortal Realm in the Primordial Garden. Qin Yun was at the 7th or 8th Firmament Sky Mortal Realm, and with the weapons he wielded, it was not a problem for him to deal with those people. It will take at least 5 days. Qin Yun sighed. 5 days is already very fast. Bing Xing said, "You are now in the Heaven Immortal Realm. Breaking through 1 level a day is really very fast. In your previous life, it was very difficult for you to break through. You had to collect resources for hundreds of years before you could do it once." In Qin Yun's previous life, he had cultivated with many women to improve by leaps and bounds. However, it took him a lot of time. Originally, Qin Yun was not in a hurry. However, inside the tree, they constantly felt the tree trunk tremble slightly. This meant that the tree trunk was under heavy attack. Only the trunk of the divine tree remains. It looks like a huge pillar supporting the heavens, standing tall on the earth. It is now nighttime. The golden full moon in the night sky is unceasingly dropping down violent thunder and lightning, bombarding the top of the tree trunk. Clan leader Lu Yu and the others separated and formed a large circle around the tree trunk. If they sense that the divine tree is being destroyed, they will definitely run out. We will surround the divine tree. None of them will be able to escape. Clan leader Lu Yu said with a smile. The divine tree's trunk is much more sturdy than everyone imagined. Although it has been bombarded by the golden moon for an entire night, there is still no sign of it cracking. After the divine tree successfully endured through the night, Divine Bee King and Divine Tree Palace Master let out a long sigh of relief. Qin Yun refined the divine fruit into a pill. It can quickly increase his cultivation. He can feel the excitement of his nether sun absorbing the pure and formidable saint power. Ling Yun said, Xiao Yun, nether sun has been raised too much. Maybe it won't be able to absorb other energy in the future. It doesn't matter. I will think of a way to let nether sun absorb good things. Qin Yun said with a smile in his heart. I hope nether sun can quickly increase its cultivation. The immortal power inside the nether sun is only second-level heavenly immortal. It is quickly transforming into third-level heavenly immortal. Nether sun totem also began appearing on the surface of the proud heavenly Tao Power's little dragon. Qin Yun is looking forward to cultivating the small dragon to perfection. What will it be like? At that time, Heavenly Tao Ferocious Power's little heavenly lion, Heavenly Tao Flame Violent Power's little divine hammer, and Heavenly Tao Proud Heavenly Tao Power's little dragon will fuse together and burst out with great power. Especially when these three nether sun totems are fused together, the result will be very good. Every night when the curtain of night falls, Divine Bee King is very nervous and on edge. He is very worried that Golden Moon's thunder and lightning will split the divine tree. And after the night falls, Lu Yu and the others are cheering nonstop. They feel that the divine tree will be destroyed very soon. Once the divine tree's transformation is stopped, they will be able to keep the divine tree in the ancient garden and control it. At night, both sides are in very different mood. Moreover, they are equally unbearable. Lu Yu and the others are looking forward to seeing the divine tree crack at night. If it is not destroyed, they will be very disappointed and suffer even more during the day. They all know that the divine fruit can allow people to advance by leaps and bounds. They also know that if Qin Yun's cultivation breaks through very high, they will be in even more danger. Bing Xing, Divine Bee King, and Divine Tree Palace Master are very strong, but they are unable to fight against so many powerful people. That is because their heavenly immortal power is not strong enough. If it was Qin Yun, then his 9th level heavenly immortal realm immortal power would be much stronger than others. Although Bing Xing's immortal power is stronger than Divine Bee King and Divine Tree Palace Master, she is alone. It will be very difficult for her to fight against Lu Yu and the other experts. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed. The people around the divine tree burst into cheers in the night because a crack appeared on the divine tree's surface. The divine tree is already in tatters. There are many dents on its surface. But tonight, a crack appeared on the divine tree. This means that it won't be long before Golden Moon's power can hack into the inside, causing the people inside to be unable to calmly hide. Qin Yun is now 5th level heavenly immortal realm. Although it will be very soon, the divine tree is cracking and won't be able to hold on for long. Earlier, Qin Yun let Mo come out and communicate with the divine fruits, so he was able to quickly determine which one is the divine fruit king. The divine fruit king is exactly the same as other divine fruits. Even if one knows that it is the divine fruit king, after careful examination, it is difficult to discover any difference between it and other divine fruits. Now, there are more than 1,000 divine fruits. If the divine fruit king is as powerful as the legends say, then as long as he eats the divine fruit king, he will be able to reach 7th or 8th level heavenly immortal realm. He won't need to use other divine fruits. The moment Qin Yun refined the divine fruit king into a pill and ate it, a burst of golden flame rushed out of his body. Bing Xing cried out in alarm, released icy cold power, and tightly grabbed Qin Yun's hand. Jian Linglong also grabbed Qin Yun. I'm fine. Qin Yun revealed a smile. The divine fruit king is indeed very good. It's very ferocious. Bing Xing and Jian Linglong sensed that when the energy attacked their flesh, blood, tendons, and bones, they felt a faint pain. And the ones whose cultivation increased the fastest are Liang Qin and Lan Feng Jin. They are already 7th level heavenly immortal realm. Qin Yun's nether son needs to absorb a lot of energy to increase his cultivation, so his immortal power is also very strong. Xiao Yuanmei said, "We will reach 9th level heavenly immortal realm very soon. So fast." Qin Yun now understands why the people from the ancient garden arrived so quickly after the divine tree blossomed. Because the divine tree's divine fruits can indeed allow people to advance by leaps and bounds. Especially the divine fruit king. The energy contained within it is simply unimaginable. 2 days pass by. The divine tree is cracking more and more severely, especially at the top. It has already split into 2 halves. If the golden moon continues to attack, sooner or later the divine tree will be split into 2 halves. And now the divine tree can no longer release its power to suppress other people's flight. Those Willow Yu clan people can fly to a relatively high place and look at the place where the divine tree is splitting. After Qin Yun ate the pill refined by the divine fruit king, he broke through to 8th level heavenly immortal realm in 2 days. However, he still has not finished refining the energy within his body, and Xiao Yuanmei and others are already peak 9th level heavenly immortal realm. If they continue, they will become immortal kings. Suddenly, Divine Bee King knocked on the door and shouted, "Not good! The divine tree can't hold on any longer. Quickly run. The sky is already dark. Golden moon is about to attack." Qin Yun looked at the heart of the divine tree and said in earnest, "Divine tree, I will definitely protect you and let you successfully transform. Sister Bing Xing, I am going." Qin Yun took a deep breath and said, "Although I am just a bit short of 9th level heavenly immortal realm, it is enough for now." Bing Xing nodded and said, "If we join hands, we will definitely be able to beat back those Willow Yu clan people." Xiao Yuanmei shouted, "I will also join the battle." "All right, I will first go up and block Golden Moon's violent thunder and let the divine tree hold on until daybreak. Then I will go take care of those guys." Qin Yun finished speaking and used mysterious penetration divine ability to quickly pass through. Very soon, he arrived at the top of the tree trunk and flew out from the crack on the top of the tree trunk. It is as if he came out from a crack. Boom! At the same time, the golden full moon in the sky dropped down a violent golden thunder and bombarded Qin Yun's body. After Qin Yun's body was hit, it split open. His injured skin is curling up with golden mist and is quickly healing. Willow Yu clan and various big sects elders saw someone fly out and block the golden moon violent thunder and cannot help but suck in a mouthful of cold air. A large group of people also cried out in alarm one after another. These days, they are very familiar with the might of the golden moon violent thunder. They all discussed that it would be very difficult for their bodies to withstand it. But now, the person who flew out of the divine tree has blocked the golden moon violent thunder. And this person is someone they're very familiar with. That bastard Qin Yun. What's going on with this guy? He seems to have become stronger. His cultivation has increased so fast. Isn't he afraid that his foundation will become unstable? Motherfucker, this is way too fast. A group of big shots cursed one after another. Chapter 1652. Heaven's Might, Overlord Body. After being struck by the lightning, Qin Yun gained a preliminary understanding of the lightning released by Golden Moon. Golden Moon is indeed very terrifying. If not for Qin Yun's powerful immortal devil sacred body, he would have been blasted into pieces. Yun'er, an even more powerful golden lightning, is about to descend. Qin Yun suddenly said, "You once made Nether Sun devour violent thunder. Can you still do it now?" "Of course you can, but this might expose your Nether Sun. Exposing your Nether Sun is not a good thing." Ling Yun'er said, "Don't worry. Even if those guys know, they won't be able to say anything." Qin Yun coldly glanced at the group of people floating in the distance. The people from the Willow Moon clan and the other large sects besieged the divine tree to capture Qin Yun, making him their enemy. Moreover, many of those people are from Immortal Desolate's major powers. They are all Qin Yun's enemies. Therefore, Qin Yun did not plan to let them off. As long as he waited for daybreak, Jean, you would not be able to attack the divine tree, and he would be able to attack and kill all of them. That's true. We must get rid of them all, Ling Yun said with a smile. Among these people, there are many celestial kings and celestial emperors. Their celestial powers are suppressed to the 9th level of the heaven celestial stage. If we kill them and collect their remnant souls, it will definitely make Sister Star God very happy. In the distance, Lu Yu laughed loudly and said, Qin Yun, a very powerful lightning bolt is about to descend. If you don't run, you'll be struck to death. If you run, the tree of God will be destroyed, ha. An old man from the devil immortal heavenly gates said with a sneer. Qin Yun, you are a famous person in the immortal desolate. If word got out that you died trying to protect a broken tree, you would definitely become the laughingstock of the entire immortal desolate. The immortal elder laughed out loud and said, Qin Yun, in order to protect a broken tree, you are risking your old life with limitless prospects. Is it worth it? They do not wish for Qin Yun to die because Qin Yun has many passes in his hands. He also has many useful runes and totems. In addition, Qin Yun's divine inscription mountain in the immortal desolate is even more enviable than the divine tree. If Qin Yun died, they would not be able to obtain it. Especially the Luyu clan people. They all want to go to immortal desolate as soon as possible because they know that there are many divine mountains in immortal desolate. The sun is preparing to send down even more resources. Once he goes to the immortal desolate, he will be able to advance by leaps and bounds and quickly become a sage. In Qin Yun's hand, there are many passes. If they wanted to leave, they could only rely on Qin Yun's pass. I'll die. Qin Yun smiled proudly. The heavenly Tao wants me dead, but I didn't. You ants enslaved by the heavenly Tao want to see me die? As he spoke, his body surged with the might of the heavenly Tao. He had his own heaven and his own Tao. He cultivated the heavenly Tao and fought against the ancient heavenly Tao. Qin Yun's heavenly Taos might spread out in all directions, instilling fear in people. The golden moon was born from the heavenly Tao. Since you think so highly of yourself and dare to oppose the heavenly Tao, then let the heavenly Tao take care of you. The Willow Moon clan chief laughed. The golden moon in the sky suddenly seemed to shake, releasing waves of golden mist. The golden mist suddenly gathered together. It condensed into an incomparably powerful energy. Die! Patriarch Lu Yu shouted. Boom! The energy condensed by the golden moon transformed into golden lightning. The imposing aura of the attack caused the people floating in the sky to feel as if they're being pressed down by a mountain. They were all pressed down. The 5-star cities around the divine tree were originally turned into ruins and became uneven. But in an instant, they were suddenly flattened by a very strong pressure. Moreover, the entire area sank by tens of meters. This kind of terrifying pressure caused all the experts present to be emotionally moved, their hearts filled with incomparable fear. They're all convinced that if they were to face this kind of pressure, they would undoubtedly die. However, after the violent lightning descended, Qin Yun, who was floating on top of the divine tree, was able to block it. On top of Qin Yun's head, there is a small black ball. It is not very big, only the size of fist. This small ball is very terrifying. It produces an extremely strange power, causing the surrounding space to distort. And when the descending golden lightning was tens of meters away from the small black ball, it was coiled up by a kind of whirlpool. This is the nether sun released by Qin Yun. The nether sun produces an incomparably strong suction force. It can produce a very strong gravitational field. Any energy that approaches will be blocked by the gravity of the nether sun. Then, along with the distortion of space, the energy will be swallowed bit by the nether sun. Therefore, from a distance, it can be seen that the violent lightning shot down by Golden Moon is currently coiling around the small black ball. The small black ball looks like it is surrounded by a golden spiral arm. It looks like a cantilever of the Milky Way. While swallowing, the small black ball is like a bottomless black hole. When the powerful energy approaches, it will be swallowed. What is that thing? Patriarch Lu Yu cried out in alarm. The violent lightning released by Golden Moon is so powerful, but it was actually blocked. Everyone present believes that it is a very powerful magic tool that Qin Yun has mastered. Bursts of incredulous cries came from all around the divine tree. Qin Yun already knew that Nether Sun is very strong, but it has always been sealed. Even now, Ling Yun is very careful to release the Nether Sun's power bit by bit. She also doesn't dare to completely release the seal. She is worried that Nether Sun will lose control and suddenly break away from Qin Yun. At that time, Qin Yun will be finished. Boom! Golden Moon attacked again. Just like before, after it approached the Nether Sun, it was driven by a strange and formidable power and began to revolve around the Nether Sun. Then, like falling into a whirlpool, it was slowly swallowed up. Ling Yun yelled, "Xiao Yun, seize this opportunity to cultivate. This power is very strong." Cultivate? Cultivate what? Qin Yun asked. Of course, it is Heavenly Might Dao technique. You are now fighting against Heavenly Dao. You must comprehend Heavenly Dao, learn Heavenly Dao, and cultivate your own Heavenly Dao Heavenly Might. Ling Yun urged. All right. Qin Yun immediately closed his eyes. His Nether Sun has Heavenly Dao Divine Rune. It is also a good thing for him to comprehend Heavenly Dao. Qin Yun doesn't know much about Heavenly Dao Divine Rune. He also can't control it. However, Heavenly Dao Divine Rune has been suppressed by Nether Sun for many years and gradually recognized Qin Yun. It can allow Qin Yun to comprehend the power of Heavenly Dao. Lu Yu's patriarch doesn't believe in heresy. She constantly controlled Golden Moon to release thunder and lightning to attack Qin Yun. And Qin Yun is floating above the divine tree. He is sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed. It looks like he is cultivating. A golden light whirlpool is revolving above Qin Yun's head. Nether Sun is unceasingly devouring Golden Moon's energy. He also suddenly touched the Heavenly Dao Divine Rune inside the Nether Sun. Nether Sun suddenly dropped down a white light, entered Qin Yun's head, and poured into his entire body. Elder Lu Yu yelled, "That guy's cultivating. He is using that damned thing to devour Golden Moon's energy to cultivate. Quickly stop him." Long Family Elder shouted, "If this guy becomes stronger, it will be detrimental to us. We should quickly kill our way over." Lu Yu and Jie Ting shouted, "Kill." Lu Yu's clan chief also shouted. At this time, many people flew over one after another. Suddenly, specks of white light floated over from the night sky, bringing along bursts of cold air and whistling over. Those are many ice swords. Ice swords condensed from cold ice. Bing Xing has attacked. With me here, don't even think about going over. Bing Xing's ice-cold voice is filled with monstrous killing intent. Countless ice swords dropped down. The dense and cold ice power penetrated into the bone marrow. The group of people who flew over were enveloped by the ice swords in a short while. Those whose cultivation is not high, after being pierced by the ice swords, their bodies immediately stiffened and then fell to the ground. During the process of falling, their bodies also condensed into ice. After falling to the ground, they broke into many pieces of ice. Divine Bee King, Divine Tree Palace Master, Jin Ling Long, and a large number of divine bees flew out of the divine tree one after another. Lu Yu clan, come and fight with your life on the line. Divine Bee King looked at Lu Yu's clan chief and furiously shouted, "Elder Lu Yu, you traitor, I will personally kill you." Divine Tree Palace Master's face is filled with anger as he flew over. Lu Yu clan chief yelled, "Don't be afraid of them. They are not our match. We have many people, and they have few people. They won't be able to hold on for long." Comparing peak experts, Lu Yu clan indeed has more. Divine Bee King and the others only have 10 or so. On Lu Yu clan's side, there are many big shots and elders from other local sects, as well as some immortal kings and immortal emperors from Immortal Desolate. Lu Yu clan, don't be arrogant. There's also our Yao family. Yao family's old ancestor's voice suddenly came from a distance. Yao families He Xiuji and Yao Daxiong have arrived. There's also our Liang family. Liang family's old ancestor's voice also came from a distance. There is also me. It is the voice of a 3-star city master. There's also our Falling Moon Palace. Falling Moon Palace Master also arrived. Yao family has been waiting for an opportunity to attack, and now is the best opportunity. It is also the most crucial moment. Golden Moon in the sky unceasingly sent down violent thunder, wanting to destroy Qin Yun's Nether Sunday. If Golden Moon doesn't continue to attack, Qin Yun will have the opportunity to participate in the battle. Liu Yu clan cannot let Qin Yun participate in the battle. They also cannot wait until daybreak. Once Qin Yun enters the battle, they will be in danger. This is a battle against time. The battle is about to begin. What shocked Qin Yun the most is that Xiao Yuemei seems to have changed into another person. Her killing intent is soaring. Her killing methods are incomparably savage. Xiao Yuemei very rarely shows her savage side. Xiao Yuelon, on the other hand, often does. Heavenly Might Dao Technique's 3rd layer, Heavenly Might Tyrant Body, I will be able to cultivate it to perfection very soon. Qin Yun has entered a very strange state. Heavenly Dao Divine Rune is cooperating with Nether Sun, condensing a kind of strange energy and pouring it into his body. Qin Yun can feel that his body is being reborn. He was already very strong when he cultivated the immortal demon's sacred body, but now he could go one step further. Xiao Yun, your body is becoming stronger. Ling Yun is also very shocked. There's a power that is transforming your body. I don't need to wait for daybreak. I can take care of them. Qin Yun clenched his fists. The improvement of his body after transformation made him very excited. Chapter 1653. Divine Tree. Totem Qin Yun now feels even more strongly that if he wants to smoothly cultivate these Dao techniques, he must have a certain level of comprehension, and this requires a certain opportunity. For example, now is an excellent opportunity for him. Nether Sun is being bombarded by Golden Moon's energy, and Golden Moon's energy comes from Heavenly Dao. It is a kind of formidable, violent thunder formed by the convergence of heaven and earth's power. Nether Sun devoured this kind of energy and combined it with Heavenly Dao Divine Rune. It allowed him to have a very deep understanding of this matter. He can feel how Heavenly Dao's formidable energy is formed. Will Heavenly Might Tyrant Body and Immortal Devil Sacred Body conflict? Qin Yun said with frown. Heavenly Might Tyrant Body is the 3rd layer of Heavenly Might Tyrant Body. This so-called Heavenly Might Tyrant Body should have nothing to do with body, right? I don't know. What I can be sure of is that after you comprehended the 3rd layer of Heavenly Might Dao technique, your body is being remolded. It can make your body even stronger. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun is currently in a state of quiet cultivation. Although it is very noisy outside, he cannot hear any noise. All kinds of big and small battles are erupting all around the Divine Tree. Moreover, Golden Moon is in the sky, yet Qin Yun can still calmly cultivate. This is mainly because he trusts his friends very much. He knows that they can block those evil forces from Liu Yu clan. Qin Yun must block Golden Moon's attack and protect the Divine Tree. He must not let the Divine Tree be destroyed. It is not easy for the Divine Tree to cultivate for so many years. It will soon reach Divine Desolate. It must not fail at the last moment. Although Qin Yun has never communicated with the Divine Tree, he obtained its help. All things in the world have spirit. He considers the Divine Tree as his friend, a very special friend. The Divine Tree no longer has branches and leaves. It only has a trunk. The highest part of the tree has been split open. Adding the battles happening all around, death aura pervaded the air, filled with all kinds of ruthless, baleful aura, causing the Divine Tree to look very lifeless. While Qin Yun is comprehending the Heavenly Might Dao technique, he is also paying attention to the state of the Divine Tree. He suddenly sensed that the Divine Tree is transforming. It is not easy for divine tree to cultivate to this level. Weak little creature, climbing up step by step to reach divine desolate. This process is very admirable, Qin Yun said in his heart. It is also not easy for you, puny little creature, fighting against the heavens for 9 lifetimes. An aged voice suddenly sounded in Qin Yun's mind. You are the divine tree? Exclaimed Qin Yun. The divine tree and the tree god are both me. The old voice laughed. You are the tree goddess? Qin Yun was even more alarmed. To be precise, most trees can become tree gods. The tree goddess chuckled. Senior, you said that I fought against the heavens for 9 lifetimes. What's going on? Qin Yun is extremely alarmed. He knows that his past life was a mortal king float cloud, and his past life was the sun god. Furthermore, the present Qin Yun was only in his 3rd life. As for him, he had experienced 9 lifetimes. You will be able to do it automatically in the future, Tree Goddess said. I am about to ascend to the divine wasteland. Before I leave, I will help you. Help me? Qin Yun was somewhat puzzled. You seem to be going very smoothly now, but you won't be able to achieve it in a short period of time. The Tree Goddess smiled and said, I'll give you a hand so that you could be reborn quickly. Senior, what's going on with my current cultivation? I can't figure it out myself. Qin Yun asked. To fight against the heavenly Tao, you must have a body as strong as the heavenly Tao, a mind as strong as the heavenly Tao, a power as strong as the heavenly Tao. And now, no matter what method you use to cultivate your body, you'll be strengthening your heavenly Tao body. You don't need to know what's going on. Any path will ultimately lead to the same goal. As the tree goddess's voice spread, Qin Yun sensed a very strong pale white light suddenly appearing on his body. He has a tree totem inside his body. And now, the totem inside his body is the one given to him by the tree goddess. This is a new kind of tree totem. Qin Yun closed his eyes and sensed the tree totem inside his body. According to his understanding of totem runes, it is very likely to be a god-tier tree totem. You have another son. It is a great, ominous, tyrannical, ruthless, and greedy thing. Just by relying on a tiny Tao spirit, it is impossible to restrain the Nether Sun. In this life, you might be able to rely on the Nether Sun to break the shackles of the heavenly Tao. Tree Goddess said again. Hearing these words, Qin Yun is secretly amazed in his heart. This tree goddess really knows a lot of things. Ling Yun'er is somewhat unconvinced because she is being called a tiny Tao spirit. Tree Goddess said, I will now give you the divine tree totem. I hope it will be able to restrain your Nether Sun in the future. Qin Yun also knows that his Nether Sun is very dreadful. Moreover, the majority of his cultivation energy is stored inside the Nether Sun. If the Nether Sun goes out of control, it will be very harmful to him. After Qin Yun obtained the divine tree totem, Ling Yun said with smile, Xiao Yun, with the help of the divine tree totem, I can release a bit of the Nether Sun's energy. The divine tree totem can restrain the Nether Sun. Ling Yun immediately took action. The Nether Sun suddenly started revolving and quickly refined the violent thunder and lightning. The most dreadful thing is that the devouring power released by the Nether Sun is actually able to capture Jin Yu's golden thunder and lightning from far away. The experts in the battle discovered that not long after Jin Yu shot down the thunder and lightning, a strange power immediately grabbed it. Qin Yun can capture violent thunder and lightning and use it to cultivate. This is simply appalling. Everyone knows that Jin Yu's golden thunder and lightning are very dreadful, but Qin Yun can capture thunder and lightning and use it as energy to cultivate. The cracked area of the divine tree is also gradually healing. Some people also discovered that the divine tree is now sprouting many branches and leaves, showing an extremely exuberant vitality. The divine tree is transforming. After the bark of the tree trunk fell off, the tree trunk has turned into a white crystal-like object and is releasing a cold white light. This is a brand new divine tree. After being reborn, the divine tree is erupting with tenacious vitality, causing the people fighting all around to feel very shocked. Qin Yun's body suddenly trembled and released an incomparably dreadful heaven immortal power. This is the immortal power of the 9th level of the heaven immortal realm. After he broke through, it rippled out like water and rushed in all directions. Just a moment ago, Qin Yun was reborn together with the divine tree. Moreover, he also broke through his own realm and entered the peak of the 9th level of the heaven immortal realm. Just one step, and he can once again become an immortal king. In his previous life, he stopped at the immortal king realm, and now he is not far from his previous life's realm. He can even surpass it very soon. The golden moon in the night sky seems to have dimmed a lot. As if it has been hollowed out, it has lost its dazzling golden light. As long as one raises their head, they can see the golden moon in the sky. It is cold and lonely, emitting a faint silver light. The surface of the golden moon must have undergone a great change. Qin Yun knows that the golden moon is also seeking a breakthrough, seeking to be reborn. But the golden moon's method is to destroy. Without destruction, there can be no construction. So it always wants to be destroyed. It wants to be reborn from nirvana and get rid of the Liu Yu clan's control. Qin Yun broke through, but the golden moon is unable to continue releasing energy attacks. The Liu Yu clan people are also faintly worried. Don't be afraid of him. We will definitely win. Liu Yu clan leader shouted. We will immediately kill Qin Yun. In the ancient garden, even immortal kings and immortal emperors are limited to the 9th level of the heaven immortal realm. And Qin Yun is now at the 9th level of the heaven immortal realm. With his nether sun and heaven's might Dao technique, the 9th level of the heaven immortal realm immortal power he can release is definitely the strongest. Qin Yun looked at the Liu Yu clan leader. The Liu Yu clan leader is fighting the Divine Bee King with a pair of very powerful swords, causing the Divine Bee King to be covered in wounds. It is not that the Divine Bee King is not a match for the Liu Yu clan leader. It is because the Liu Yu clan has too many people. There are also 3 very strong Liu Yu clan elders besieging the Divine Bee King. Kill me. Qin Yun's eyes burst with white light. In the blink of an eye, he arrived beside the distant Liu Yu clan leader. You? Seeing Qin Yun arrive, Liu Yu clan leader felt alarmed and stabbed with her sword. The Liu Yu clan leader's strength is extremely formidable. Although it looks like a stab, it is actually more than 10,000 stabs in the blink of an eye. The surging sword image is condensed with very strong immortal power. The sword energy is like a huge wall of 10,000 swords rushing towards Qin Yun. Break! Qin Yun's heaven-exploding finger smashed the huge wall. Hoo-hoo-hoo! All kinds of tyrannical energy immediately swept in all directions. The might of Qin Yun's heaven-exploding finger caused people to feel apprehensive. Many experts are paying attention to the battle between Qin Yun and the Liu Yu clan leader. After seeing Qin Yun easily break the Liu Yu clan leader's attack, they can roughly judge Qin Yun's strength. The pressure on the Divine Bee King is greatly reduced. She can now focus on dealing with other people. Qin Yun, you quickly broke through. Your foundation is still shallow. In front of me, you are just tofu dregs. Liu Yu clan leader stabbed with her sword again. You are the tofu dregs. Qin Yun suddenly flashed and grabbed Liu Yu clan leader's sword. He activated Heavenly Might Tyrant Body's power. He felt his flesh, blood, tendons, and bones suddenly strengthened by a lot, allowing him to not fear sharp weapons. Die! Qin Yun fiercely jabbed with his 2 fingers. A deafening thunderclap sound reverberated out. After the incomparably dreadful piercing mountain and splitting earth finger penetrated Liu Yu clan leader's head, it looked like a comet dragging a long tail of light and flew very far away. Liu Yu clan leader's head directly disappeared. Seeing this scene, the people who are fighting all cried out in alarm, especially the evil forces led by Liu Yu clan. They all have the thought of retreating. Retreat! The old man from the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate shouted. The evil forces saw Liu Yu clan leader was killed. They know that if they continue to fight, even if they win, it will be a Pyrrhic victory. They will definitely suffer great losses. The divine tree suddenly released a very large golden light barrier, enveloping a large area. Those people who wanted to fly away suddenly hit a barrier. The divine tree has transformed. Now its power is incomparably formidable. Qin Yin took out the floating cloud rod, together with the light transformation's sacred pupil. He rushed towards Elder Lu Yu. Elder Lu Yu also wants to run. She's being chased by the divine tree palace master. Qin Yun's light transformation sacred pupil is extremely fast. It allows him to appear in front of Elder Lu Yu as if he teleported. Boom! Qin Yun appeared in front of Elder Lu Yu very quickly and accurately smashed down with his rod. Chapter 1654. Half-Sun Spirit. Lu Yu clan people cannot help but shiver. Two of their Lu Yu clan's powerful elders died, just like that. Moreover, they were easily killed by someone. Divine Tree Palace Master, Divine Bee King, bring everyone back to the Divine Tree to rest. Leave this to me. Qin Yun suddenly shouted. His voice is filled with a kind of heart-trembling might. Divine Bee King waved her hand, and a large number of divine bees retreated. Divine Tree Palace Master also nodded at Yao family and Falling Moon Palace people and quickly retreated back to the Divine Tree. As for those evil powers, they all joined hands and began to frantically bombard the barrier. Bing Xing flew towards Qin Yun. She wanted to say something, but stopped. She only nodded at Qin Yun and flew towards the Divine Tree. Lu Yu Jieting suddenly shouted. They all retreated. Only Qin Yun is here. Let's quickly go and kill Qin Yun. Just as he finished speaking, a lightning bolt flew over. Qin Yun used Lightning Lock Sacred Eye to release Lightning Bolt and lock Lu Yu Jieting, who is floating in the air. After Lu Yu Jieting was locked by Lightning Bolt, he suddenly fell to the ground. Just as he landed, he was entangled by tree vines that came out from the ground. Then his flesh and bones were crushed, and he died in incomparable pain. This caused everyone's scalp to go numb. They don't know if it was the divine tree's tree vines or Qin Yun's. The tree vines were released by Qin Yun. He just obtained the strongest divine tree totem. The tree vines he condensed are also extremely dreadful. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates, Immortal Emperor, shouted angrily at Qin Yun. Qin Yun, you want to kill us? Many of us are immortal kings and immortal emperors. If you kill us, you can only be a fugitive in the immortal desolate. I'm a fugitive to begin with, of course. I am not hiding from trash like you. Qin Yun sneered and suddenly used Heavenly Lion's heavenly roar. The sound wave condensed into a translucent lion head that is as large as a mountain and rushed forward. The translucent lion head that is as large as half a mountain opened its mouth, as if it is roaring. The roar that erupted is filled with ferocious power. There are several thousands of evil forces people and tens of thousands of werewolves. After the heavenly lion's heavenly roars sound waves spread out, a large number of werewolves on the ground immediately bled from their 7 orifices before their heads exploded. Qin Yun's heavenly lion's heavenly roar is a powerful mental attack, mixed with one thought imperial heaven. Those werewolves' minds are impure to begin with, so they can't withstand this mental sound wave. The sound wave swept out like a sweeping army, killing tens of thousands of werewolves. The people of the Willow Moon clan were trembling and their hearts were bleeding. Their werewolf army had killed many divine bees, but they were all killed by Qin Yun's roar. Roar! Another lion roar rang out. This time, it was not Qin Yun who roared. It was the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion that was summoned by Qin Yun. Kill! Qin Yun shouted. The Nether Realm Heavenly Lion soared high into the sky, its lion claws blotting out the sky and covering the earth, crazily killing those people who were fleeing in all directions. Qin Yun charged towards an immortal emperor from the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate. Everyone join hands and capture Qin Yun. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates, immortal emperors anxiously shouted. More than 10 immortal emperors promptly rushed towards Qin Yun from all directions. They felt extremely sullen in their hearts. They are clearly immortal emperors, but they are being restricted in an ancient era's garden. This caused them to cower in fear when facing people with higher cultivation than them. Those 10 immortal emperors are all from Immortal Desolate. The weapons in their hands are also very strong, and they have pretty good equipment. They rushed over from all directions. They want to trap Qin Yun in the middle and then attack together. Ho! An invisible super-gravity appeared. Originally, those 10 immortal emperors were flying in the sky. After they approached Qin Yun, they entered Qin Yun's gravity domain and suddenly dropped to the ground. After they landed, Qin Yun released super-gravity again, pressing them down on the ground and making it difficult for them to get up. The most terrifying thing is that those tree vines sprang out. A middle-aged man's leg was strangled by the tree vines and was directly cut off. So what if you were immortal emperors from Immortal Desolate? With the sun-suppressing divine arrow in hand, Qin Yun walked towards the devil immortal heavenly gates immortal emperors and said with a sneer, "You used my past to enter the ancient era's garden. Do you think it's that easy to come in and take benefits and leave?" Just as his voice fell, the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand pierced the old man's head. An immortal emperor was killed just like that. Bing Xing and the others inside the divine tree exclaimed in admiration again and again. Against these powerful immortal emperors, they could only fight to a draw. And now, Qin Yun is not the least bit afraid, even when facing many immortal emperors. "Kill him!" someone shouted from the distance. Thousands of people suddenly released berserk immortal power. Immortal power condensed into energy balls, like a torrential rain, accompanied by all kinds of weapons, densely landed on Qin Yun's location. Just as they attacked, the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion rushed over and slapped a large group of people to death with a single claw. A large number of people were directly torn to shreds by the berserk Heavenly Lion's power. "Retreat for me!" Qin Yun's gravity domain suddenly increased in size. The energy became even stronger. After those immortal power and weapons entered his gravity domain, they suddenly lost their momentum and began to uncontrollably spin along with the gravity domain. The people who had just attacked were all incomparably terrified. The combined attack of so many of them had actually been blocked. The formidable power Qin Yun displayed made them suspect that the power Qin Yun released is not 9th level heaven immortal realm immortal power, but immortal king and immortal emperor level. Qin Yun put away the sun-suppressing divine arrow and switched it to the floating cloud rod that could be extended and retracted freely. Boom! Qin Yun vigorously struck an immortal emperor and directly blew him up. Another immortal emperor has been killed. Immortal emperors from the Immortal Desolate are all famous bigwigs in the Immortal Desolate. But now, they're being pressed down on the ground like dogs by Qin Yun's supergravity. Those who wanted to join forces to attack Qin Yun all gave up. They fled in all directions because the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion is incomparably ferocious. No one can block that terrifying lion claw. The people fleeing in all directions can hear trembling sounds coming one after another. It is the sound of Qin Yun blowing up immortal emperors. Very quickly, those immortal emperors were killed by Qin Yun's floating cloud rod. The strongest group was almost done for, and the remaining people are even less likely to deal with Qin Yun. The Divine Be King and the others now know why Qin Yun told them to retreat. He was worried that they would be accidentally injured. Especially that Nether Realm Heavenly Lion. Each claw, bite, roar, and pounce can cause a large number of deaths and injuries. Qin Yun, you murderous devil, you will not have a good ending, a middle-aged immortal shouted. You killed so many people from our great powers. The Immortal Desolate Great Emperor will not forgive you. Die. I will send the Immortal Desolate Great Emperor to accompany you. Qin Yun went over and smashed down with his rod. The powerful middle-aged immortal turned into a field of sparks. Immortal Desolate Great Emperor? I still haven't settled my old debt with him. Qin Yun is holding the floating cloud rod and using light transformation, sacred pupil. As long as he sees someone, he will flash over and kill them with a rod strike. Most of the immortal kings and immortal emperors from the immortal desolate are from those great powers. Those from the Shao family were also killed by Qin Yun a long time ago. Liu Yu clan and other sects people can't even block a single rod strike from Qin Yun. Qin Yun's heavenly immortal power is extremely ferocious. Even if he goes to the immortal desolate, those immortal kings might not dare to face his rod head-on. The divine tree is surrounded by resentment. The remnant souls of the people killed by Qin Yun and the nether realm heavenly lion are floating everywhere. Those remnant souls are enveloped by the divine tree's barrier and are unable to escape. When they were attacking the divine tree, these people were all wild with joy. They were all thinking of how to capture the divine tree palace and Guanghan Palace's people and capture Qin Yun to torture. But now, they are in a sorry state like mice, killed by Qin Yun one by one. Qin Yun doesn't know if there is anyone watching outside the barrier, but he is now fearless. Even if the news of him slaughtering people here reaches the immortal desolate, he doesn't think it's a big deal, because he feels that it is time to publicly settle the debt with the enemies of his previous life. This is something he will have to face sooner or later. The sky gradually brightened. The wailing and miserable screams that resounded throughout the night also stopped along with the dawn. The divine tree is surrounded by remnant souls and resentful souls. Qin Yun used many soul-sealing pearls to absorb them. The corpses around him were also ignited by sacred flame. After those corpses turned to ash, the divine tree absorbed the energy within. It's over. Divine Tree Palace Master still doesn't dare to believe that the predicament they faced was solved by Qin Yun alone. He is truly strong. Divine Be King is also extremely shocked. Why is the power within his body so strong? As expected of my brother, he is truly awesome, Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. She knows that Qin Yun can't not be strong. Otherwise, he would have already been tormented to death by the heavenly Tao. After Qin Yun collected the remnant souls, he flew towards the divine tree and entered. After the people here saw Qin Yun, they all felt deep veneration, especially He Xiuji, Yao Daxiong, and others, because Qin Yun's cultivation was very low when he was in the War Immortal Academy. But now, not long after, he is already so much stronger than them. Of course, if they go to the Immortal Desolate, their cultivation will not be restricted and they will be able to release their strongest power. Big brother, the divine tree promised you. It will definitely do it. After it is done, it will ascend to the divine desolate. I am a part of the divine tree. I will follow. Divine Be King said with smile. The divine tree promised Qin Yun that would guide the remaining half of the sun's soul nearby. Qin Yun nodded and said, all right. Soon after, Qin Yun, Xiao Yuemei, and others went to collect a lot of divine honey and divine fruits from the warehouse. After Qin Yun flew out, he took out the stone given to him by the divine tree palace master. It can sense the location of the sun's soul. During the day, the golden moon is hanging high in the sky. Qin Yun looked up at the golden moon. His heart is filled with worry. He thought, Shuyan, Sister Yao Feng, how are you now? Ling Yun'er shouted, Xiao Yun, the sun soul is not moving around. It is nearby. Qin Yun is thinking about Liu Yu Shuyan. After he was woken up, he flew towards the direction pointed by the stone. Ancient Garden Sun Soul, I am finally going to see you. Qin Yun is also secretly looking forward to what kind of sun soul it is, but he is more worried about Liu Yu Shuyan. Liu Yu Shuyan went to the Golden Moon, and there is no news of her. Chapter 1655. Devil Star Evil Spirit Bing Xing wanted to follow Qin Yun. She was worried that Qin Yun would encounter some danger. If she was by his side, she might be able to help in times of crisis. Xiao Yun, is the sun soul nearby? Bing Xing asked as she flew side by side with Qin Yun. And I wonder if I could take it down. Qin Yun looked at the stone in his hand. After determining the direction, he sped up and flew over. Bing Xing looked at the golden moon in the sky and said, the sun soul on the golden moon is the biggest problem. Qin nodded and said, yes. I wonder what's going on up there. There's still many Liu Yu clan experts up there. They should be making a move, right? Previously, the Liu Yu clan members above were able to control the golden moon to descend a very strong lightning. From this, it could be seen that there should be quite a few Liu Yu clan members up there, and they were definitely not weak. The golden moon was no longer golden enough. The golden color had dimmed a lot, but if it were to concentrate its energy, it would still be very strong. The divine tree could only lead the sun soul to a nearby location and not allow it to approach the divine tree. Because the sun soul is also very vigilant, Qin Yun could only rely on himself to obtain the sun soul. After flying for a while, Qin Yun and Bing Xing arrived at a forest. The forest is very quiet. After Qin Yun landed, Bing Xing hurriedly walked forward and pulled Qin Yun's hand. She said with a frown, I sense something nearby. What? I didn't sense it? Qin Yun gently held Bing Xing's warm and soft lily-white hand. He could feel that Bing Xing was very nervous and worried. Bing Xing vigilantly looked around and took out a long sword. Her voice was cold and solemn as she said, Xiao Yun, don't relax. After all, that is a sun soul. The people in the ancient garden have been unable to obtain a sun soul for so many years. It can be seen that that thing must be very strong. Qin Yun nodded. I understand. Although Bing Xing felt an inexplicable sense of danger, she bravely walked in front and did not let Qin Yun rush over. She was worried that Qin Yun would suddenly be attacked. Although Qin Yun was very strong in the ancient garden, his cultivation was not high enough. Bing Xing was an immortal emperor, and she had previously received the help of the divine tree. The immortal power in her body was vigorous and powerful, allowing her to fight against powerful objects for a longer period of time. Qin Yun, on the other hand, did not sense anything. He was very curious about what the half-sun soul was like. The sun soul had its own form. The 9-sun divine hammer and the 9th heaven sparrow were both transformed from sun souls. Although both of them were in deep slumber, they would definitely wake up in the future. At that time, they would also be very powerful. There's a situation. Bing Xing suddenly shouted as she looked at a fiery red tree in front of her. The trunk of that big tree was different from the other tree trunks. It was fiery red in color and was even emitting flames. The sun soul was inside. Qin Yun could sense it. Sister Bing Xing, it's all right. Let me pass. Just as Qin Yun was about to rush over, he saw a very strong red light suddenly shoot out from the tree. The red light is rushing towards Qin Yun. Moreover, it is filled with a very evil, killing intent. When Qin Yun saw the red light, he wanted to dodge, but he discovered that he is unable to release the power inside the nether sun. Don't even think about touching him. Bing Xing raised her hand and released an extremely special type of ice to freeze Qin Yun. In the blink of an eye, Qin Yun seemed to have been frozen inside a small hill. When the red light shot over, it shattered a thick piece of ice and did not hit Qin Yun. After Qin Yun was sealed in ice, he could see the situation outside. He is extremely alarmed and does not know what happened. Xiao Yun, the sun soul in the ancient garden, is different from the ones you encountered before. Ling Yun suddenly said, You were too careless just now. If not for Sister Bing Xing, you would have definitely been injured. The fiery red tree once again shot out a ball of red light. This time, it was aimed at Bing Xing. Bing Xing struck out with her palm. A white, ice-cold ball of cold air struck the ball of red light and dispersed it. At this moment, the surrounding trees are also frozen. It is as if it is a day of ice and snow. What the hell are you? Bing Xing looked at the fiery red tree and shouted coldly. Damn star spirit, get the hell away from me. Don't ruin my good fortune. A rough voice came from the fiery red tree. Bing Xing is a star spirit. Her birth is rather mysterious. It is said that an ice-cold star fell onto the moon, and she was inside that ice-cold star at that time. The sun soul is nurtured by the sun. The sun is related to the stars and moon. Therefore, when Bing Xing approached earlier, she felt that something was amiss. So, it's the devil star, evil spirit. I was wondering what it was. Bing Xing sneered and said, "You do have some ability to control this half-sun soul. Hurry up and get the hell away from me. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead." The Devil Star, evil spirit shouted, "The human has the nether sun in his body. Once I occupy his body, I will be able to control the nether sun, huh? You want to seize the nether sun with just you? Wishful thinking." Bing Xing shouted, her ice-cold, beautiful eyes flickered with a cold light. Her pair of lily-white hands suddenly turned into ice. Her ice-cold and absolutely beautiful face is covered with a thin layer of ice. Her soft and beautiful long hair danced along with the cold air that gushed out from her body. The Devil Star, evil spirit sneered, "Little star spirit, don't even think about fighting against me. Go to hell." The fiery red tree shot out a flame. "The one who will die is you." The ice sword in Bing Xing's hand suddenly flew out and injured the very strong flame. Then it stabbed into the fiery red tree. Then she also rushed over and struck the fiery red tree several times. Waves of cold air surged, causing the forest to look as if it has experienced a blizzard. It is completely covered in ice and filled with coldness. Qingyun really wanted to break free from Bing Xing's seal, but he couldn't use any power. This made him feel an indescribable fear. "You know what's going on?" Qingyun shouted in his heart. "The nether sun is being suppressed by some kind of strange energy. Sister Bing Xing sealed you to protect you." Ling Yuner cursed in low voice. "That Devil Star evil spirit possesses a strange power that can suppress the sun, moon, and stars. Will Sister Bing Xing be all right?" Qingyun is extremely worried. After the fiery red tree was sealed in ice, it kept trembling and red flames kept gushing out. Bing Xing is forming hand seals at the side. Her hands quickly changed into various hand seals, and she chanted an incantation. Where hand seals changed, faint white runes condensed out. When Qingyun saw this, he said in shock, "That's a type of totem rune. How did she do it?" Those white runes quickly formed a group. Like a complete set of runes, they charged towards the fiery red tree. "Ah, damn it, it's a divine position totem. How did you master this kind of thing?" The Devil Star, evil spirit shouted. Bing Xing's eyes are ice-cold as she looked at the totem runes branded on the big tree. She constantly released powerful immortal power to increase the power of the totem. Less than an hour passed, and the fiery red glow on the big tree gradually faded. Bing Xing let out a light breath and looked at the frozen Qingyun. She asked softly, "Xiao Yun, can you come out by yourself?" Qingyun gave it a try and used the mysterious penetration divine ability. In an instant, he passed through and said in astonishment, "I can. What happened just now? That Devil Star evil spirit is from the Sun Hunter race. They have a secret technique that can prevent all kinds of sun energy from being released. Furthermore, it's very easy to succeed." Bing Xing said, "You unknowingly fell for it just now." Qingyun walked over and held Bing Xing's hands. He said with a smile, "Sister Bing Xing, thank you." Bing Xing lightly spat and bit her lips. She tilted her head and did not look at Qingyun. Her eyes are filled with hidden bitterness. When Qingyun saw Bing Xing's expression, he did not know what was going on. "Idiot, kiss her!" Ling Yuner shouted frantically. Xiao Yun, why are you so stupid?" Qingyun reacted and kissed Bing Xing's beautiful face. Bing Xing gently pouted. She seems to be a little happy. "Idiot." Ling Yuner is very anxious. Qingyun thought for a moment and then hugged Bing Xing's delicate body. Although Bing Xing is usually ice cold, she is not cold at all. Her body is very soft and warm. Qingyun has hugged her many times before. Qingyun hugged Bing Xing, and the two of them kissed passionately. After the kiss, Bing Xing lightly snorted and said, "Did that little Tao spirit of yours teach you this?" Bing Xing knows of Ling Yuner's existence. "No, I couldn't help it." Qingyun said with a smile, "Sister Bing Xing, you're so beautiful and fragrant." Bing Xing lightly snorted, looked at the big tree, and said, "Xiao Yun, half of the sun soul is inside. That devil star evil spirit has already been sealed by me. Qin Yun looked at the flickering runes and said with a frown, "What kind of totem rune is this? It looks very profound, but it doesn't look complete. What kind of divine position totem did that devil star evil spirit say?" Bing Xing said, "It's the ice and snow goddess totem. Rujing passed it down to me, but I haven't completely mastered it yet." Qin Yun suddenly thought of his own divine position. It is a small statue that looks exactly like him. There is no totem on it. Bing Xing held the ice sword and walked in front. She hacked at the tree a few times and then took out a soul-sealing pearl. She captured the devil star evil spirit and sealed it again. After being hacked a few times, the big tree broke into pieces. Qin Yun went over and rummaged through it. He saw a golden boot inside. This is the transformation of the sun soul. It really is half a sun soul. Qin Yun held the golden boot, shook his head, and said with a smile, "The other one should be on the golden moon." Bing Xing nodded and said, "When are you going to the golden moon? I want to go with you. Let's greet Uma and the others before going up." Qin Yun said, "All right, let's return to the divine tree now." Bing Xing nodded and said. After the two of them flew up, the earth suddenly trembled. They saw that the gigantic tree in the distance is slowly shaking. Suddenly, the divine tree soared into the sky, and a large amount of tree roots slowly pulled out from the depths of the ground. The roots of the divine tree covered the entire five-star city, and the people on top of the divine tree flew out. The divine tree is about to ascend. Goodbye. The tree god's aged voice came out and enveloped the entire ancient garden. Ho! The divine tree quickly rushed upwards, and in the sky, a very strong golden light appeared. Berserk energy tore through space as a terrifying divine power surged out. The divine tree is heading towards the divine desolate. Everyone witnessed the shocking scene of the divine tree ascending to the divine desolate. They're all yearning for it. During the day, the sunlight is very intense, causing the huge golden moon in the sky to appear even dimmer. After the divine tree ascended, the golden moon seemed to slowly grow bigger. That's because the golden moon is slowly descending. Chapter 1656. Inside the moon's core, the divine tree finally left the ancient garden. The people in the nearby cities already knew that something big happened in the five-star city, and now they all saw the divine tree fly away. Furthermore, the golden moon is falling. The reason why the ancient garden has a large number of sacred Xian silver crystals is mainly because of the golden moon. The golden moon absorbs the sun's energy and transforms it into very strong saint power. The golden moon's radiance shines on the earth. After many years, it can turn some stones into sacred Xian silver crystals. Once the golden moon falls, the ancient garden will undergo great changes. As for what will happen, no one knows. Most of the sects and powers in the ancient garden were destroyed when they attacked the five-star city. Only the falling moon palace is still here. Although the divine tree palace master is still alive, the divine tree has already left the ancient garden and the divine tree palace has completely disappeared. The divine tree palace master has already made preparations to leave the ancient garden. She bought many passage tokens from Qin Yun. The location where the golden moon fell is also the place where the divine tree took root. Qin Yun and Bing Xing are now floating in the sky, looking at the slowly falling golden moon. Others also flew away from the ruined five-star city. Suddenly, Qin Yun's communication talisman moved. Xiao Yun, I successfully made the golden moon fall, but I'm in trouble now. The Luyu clan people trapped me inside the golden moon. This is Luyu Shuyan sound transmission. Shuyan, I'll go save you now. The divine tree just flew away. Qin Yun said, Great, the divine tree is not here. Golden moon can go with ease. Luyu Shuyan said anxiously, Golden moon promised me that it will slowly fall down and give everyone time to leave. Where are you? Qin Yun asked. At the center. The Luyu clan's experts are also here. When you come, you must bring helpers. Luyu Shuyan sighed and said, if you don't have strong helpers, don't come to save me. Quickly leave the ancient garden. I'm going to save you. I have helpers. After Qin Yun sent the message, he immediately pulled Bingxing and flew towards the golden moon. Bingxing does not know about Lu Yushuyan's matter. She said with frown, Xiao Yun, the golden moon will definitely be destroyed when it falls. It's too dangerous for you to go up now. Shuyan is up there. Qin Yun said with grave expression, Sister Bingxing, you should remember Sister Yao Fong, right? Of course I remember. Why? Bingxing previously joined hands with Yao Fong to help Qin Yun increase his cultivation. She knew Yao Fong's identity long ago. Qin Yun said, I suspect that she has a clone here. It's a long story. Let's go rescue her first. All right. Bingxing nodded. At this time, Xiao Yuemei sent a message to Qin Yun. Brother, how are things on your side? Did you get the sun's soul? Xiao Yuemei said anxiously. The golden moon is about to fall. Sister Bingxing and I are rushing to Golden Moon to save Lu Yu and Shu Yan. Qin Yun said, quickly take them to the gate of the ancient era's garden and leave. What about you guys? Xiao Yuemei is very worried. We'll be fine. Don't worry. Qin Yun urged. Quickly take them away. Xiao Yuemei can only do as she is told and immediately started chatting with Divine Tree Palace Master and others. Divine Tree Palace Master took out a large flying ship and let everyone board it. The Golden Moon's descending speed is very slow, but it gives people a very strong, oppressive feeling, as if it is about to destroy the ancient era's garden. The gradually descending Golden Moon is incomparably huge. When Qin Yun and Bingxing flew over, they felt an indescribable pressure. Finally, they approached the surface of the Golden Moon. Sister Bingxing, do you know what's going on with this golden moon? Qin Yun asked. Bingxing has stayed on the moon's Guanghan Palace for many years. She is very knowledgeable about the moon. Every space can give birth to a moon, and the moon is mainly produced by the energy released by the nether sun or the sun. Bingxing said, the ancient era's garden can give birth to this golden moon. It must have been created by the 9 suns in order to protect the sun's soul here. Did the 9 suns no longer care about it? How could the golden moon be controlled by the Luyu clan? Qin Yun is very puzzled. If the Luyu clan did not control the golden moon, they would not have done so many things. Then there's only one possibility. The Luyu clan should be responsible for protecting the golden moon. However, this clan betrayed them. Bingxing sighed and said, the 9 suns are about to be destroyed. They can't care about so many things. The surface of the golden moon has remnant heat energy. The dust on its surface is flowing with faint golden light. If it was before, the surface of the golden moon would be emitting intense golden light. At this time, Lu Yushuyan sent a message to Qin Yun. Her voice is very anxious. Xiao Yun, quickly leave. Don't come over. Hurry up. Why? Qin Yun is also very anxious. He pinched the communication talisman. The golden moon is out of control. Those bastards from the Luyu clan are too crazy. They won't allow the golden moon to undergo nirvana rebirth. They want to perish together with the golden moon. Lu Yushuyan shouted, don't come and save me. Quickly run. No, I want to save you. Qin Yun very resolutely said, fool, I am Sister Yao Fong. This is only an avatar. My main body is an immortal desolate. It won't be affected. Quickly leave. Lu Yushuyan anxiously said. Although Qin Yun already guessed that Lu Yushuyan is Yao Fong's avatar, hearing her personally admit it, he is still very shocked. I already guessed it was you. That's why I want to save you even more. Even if it is your avatar, I want to save you. I don't want you to be harmed again. Qin Yun immediately replied. Idiot, quickly scram. Lu Yushuyan's voice came through the communication talisman. It is ice cold and filled with anger. Just a broken avatar. You don't need to save me, you will die. Qin Yun doesn't think so because he learned from Star God, Xian Rujing, and Siekaru that the avatar is very important to them. It can be considered as one of their 9 souls and 9 spirits. If it is destroyed, it will have a great impact on them in the future. I have already arrived at the moon, Qin Yun said again. I will immediately go to the center. Oh, that's right. Don't you have teleportation talisman? Why didn't you teleport out? Why are you so stupid? Why don't you listen to me? Lu Yushuyan is very helpless. Her voice is both anxious and gentle as she said, Xiao Yun, I beg you, listen to Sister Yao Fong. I am her, and she is me. There is no difference between us. I won't die. She suddenly regretted asking Qin Yun to save her. I know, Qin Yun replied. Are you worried that I will not treat you well in Immortal Desolate? Am I right? Lu Yushuyan asked. Because she used her identity as Lu Yushuyan to boldly express her feelings towards Qin Yun. Moreover, she is very gentle towards him. And in Immortal Desolate, she has always been ice, cold towards Qin Yun. No, Qin Yun said, I don't care whether you treat me well or not. I only care about your future. This avatar is very important to you. I will do my best to help you save it. Idiot, idiot, idiot. Lu Yushuyan loudly cursed again, but her heart is very warm. Qin Yun put away the communication talisman and looked at Bing Xing with grave expression. When Bing Xing saw Qin Yun's expression, she realized that the situation is not right. She lightly snorted and said, Don't even think about chasing me away. I know you want to act alone. This time, it is really dangerous. Qin Yun felt Bing Xing tightly grabbing his hand and sighed. I'm not afraid of danger. Bing Xing said, Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and act. All right. Qin Yun can feel Bing Xing's concern for him. She will definitely not leave. Qin Yun brought along Bing Xing and used mysterious penetration divine ability to pierce through the ground and rush towards the center of the golden moon. Lu Yushuyan has a teleportation talisman, but she did not teleport away. Furthermore, she can use a teleportation talisman to contact him. Clearly, her teleportation talisman was snatched away earlier. This means that her situation is very bad. Not long after, Qin Yun and Bing Xing arrived at the center of the golden moon. The center of the golden moon is empty. There seems to be a palace in the center with many passages and rooms. This seems to be naturally formed. It seems like the Lu Yu clan is indeed the clan that protects the golden moon. Bing Xing cursed in a low voice. These bastards, they actually stole what they were guarding. It's not like Qin Yun has never seen this kind of thing before. Back in the Heart Yang realm, there was a group of people from the heart-protecting divine race who had designs on the sun's core. Qin Yun took out the soul-chasing talisman and determined the direction of Lu Yushuyan. Then, he pulled Bing Xing and passed through the house in the center of the golden moon. Soon, they arrived at a very spacious cave. This place is surrounded by uneven golden stone walls that can accommodate many people. 100 meters wide ball of light floated in the sky. And below, a large group of people are constantly attacking the golden light ball. Qin Yun used invisibility technique and became invisible with Bing Xing. Those people did not discover them. Shuyan, where are you? Qin Yun took out the communication talisman and asked, I'm here. You fool. Did you bring any helpers? Lu Yushuyan cursed in a low voice. Why won't you listen to me once? I only do what I feel is right. Qin Yun said with a smile, I brought a helper. It's Sister Bing Xing. Bing Xing? Is it only her? Not enough. Lu Yushuyan said. There's me too. I'm also very strong. Qin Yun said. How strong can you be? Don't be arrogant. Quickly take Bing Xing and leave. You're not those guys' match. Lu Yushuyan is very anxious. Qin Yun knows what to do. He took out the floating cloud rod and said to Bing Xing, Let's go kill those guys. Bing Xing nodded and said, I'll take action first and seal them in ice. She suddenly rushed over, her body emitting oppressive cold air. Hoo. In the blink of an eye, a gale howled and a blizzard suddenly appeared. There are more than 100 Lu Yu clan people, and each and every one of them is very strong. However, in the ancient garden, their power is limited to the 9th level of Heaven Immortal. Bing Xing is a star spirit. The ice immortal power she released is very strong. After the blizzard blew over, the group of people were immediately sealed in ice. Chapter 1657. Changes in the Immortal Desolate. The sweeping staff brought along explosive whistling sounds. Energy waves gushed out. Rumbling sounds burst out, accompanied by raging flames. Whoosh! It swept away a large number of frozen people. More than half of the Willow U clan people turned into ice fragments and melted. And the remaining people are indeed very strong. They can actually struggle free from the ice. Boom! Qin Yun immediately used supergravity to suppress those people who struggled free from the ice. Bing Xing quickly cooperated and released an even stronger ice immortal power, wanting to freeze that group of people. Qin Yun's floating cloud staff swept out again. However, he underestimated the strength of those people. Boo! A middle-aged man furiously shouted. He raised his leg and kicked the long stick that was sweeping towards him, knocking it away. At the same time, the supergravity released by Qin Yun was dispersed by the berserk power released by that group of people. Bing Xing is also very shocked. Qin Yun swept away a large number of experts before, but now that he encountered this group of people, it is not going very smoothly. "Are you Qin Yun?" An old man furiously said. "It's this guy who ruined our great plan. Kill him. He actually delivered himself to our doorstep." That middle-aged man laughed loudly. Qin Yun's arms suddenly swelled up. He covered his arms with Heavenly Tao Flame's violent power and Heavenly Tao's ferocious power with Nether Sun Totem. This way, he can release Nether Sun's power. There are still 40 to 50 Willow U clan people. Bing Xing also arrived beside Qin Yun. She wants to fight together with him. Suddenly, more than 20 tall and sturdy middle-aged men flew over. They are all holding large sabers. Their bodies erupted with very strong sun energy. Their power is actually very strong and formidable sun power. This group of people once became strong with the help of the sun. However, they betrayed the sun. Bing Xing suddenly released many ice thorns from the ground and unceasingly shot up. The people who flew over were hit by the ice thorns and rushed to the top. Qin Yun also used Lightning Lock Sacred Eye at this time and shot out lightning bolts to lock the people who were hit by the ice thorns. Those old men saw how powerful Qin Yun and Bing Xing are and took action one after another. They did not approach. Instead, they shot out balls of scorching sun violent thunder from a distance. Bing Xing released ice-cold ice walls to block. Qin Yun jumped into the air. The floating cloud staff in his hand wildly beat and stabbed. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 middle-aged men were killed. Impudent! An elder roared angrily, releasing a thick streak of solar lightning. Rumble! Qin Yun's body was hit, but his heavenly might tyrant body's power suddenly emerged and produced a shockwave that repelled the lightning. The rebounding lightning struck the old man and sent him crashing into the stone wall. Bang, bang, bang. Qin Yun continued to use the floating cloud staff to kill the middle-aged man who was nailed by the ice thorns. At this moment, those elders all witnessed Qin Yun's prowess. "Let's go all out. Let's take this guy down with us." An old man shouted fiercely. The elders suddenly dispersed and charged towards the four walls. They did not attack Qin Yun and Bing Xing. Their bodies suddenly swelled up. They were going to self-destruct. Although these old men's celestial powers were only in the 9th stage of the heaven celestial stage, they were all very powerful celestial emperors. If they self-destructed, the consequences would be unimaginable. "Shuyan, are you inside?" Qin Yun looked at the huge light ball floating in the sky. "Xiao Yun, that's Golden Moon's soul body. Liyue Shuyan is inside." Ling Yun hastily said, "Quickly move. Those guys are going to self-destruct." Qin Yun hastily activated his 9-sun divine spirit and released formidable mental power. He stored the huge golden light ball into the 3rd pearl of the 9-sun divine spirit. He pulled Bing Xing and used the teleportation jade pendant to teleport away. They teleported to a location marked in 3-Star City. And at this moment, the golden moon that was slowly falling from the sky suddenly exploded. A ball of intense golden light exploded in the sky, and the shock wave shook all the nearby cities. A large amount of crushed stones along with the shockwave turned into a golden storm that swept in all directions. The entire ancient garden looks like it is facing destruction. What is terrifying is that a large spatial crack appeared at the place where the golden moon exploded. Through the spatial crack, one can see many huge mountains in the immortal desolate. The ancient garden also sank into turmoil because of this. Everyone in the vicinity saw that there are huge spatial cracks around the area where the golden moon exploded. From those spatial cracks, one can go to the immortal desolate. Even the energy of the immortal desolate rushed in. The ancient garden is about to be destroyed. Let's quickly get out. Bing Xing said anxiously. Qin Yun immediately sent a message to Xiao Yuanmei and asked, Yuanmei, where are you? He did not receive any response. It means that Xiao Yuanmei has already left. Should we go through the gate of the ancient garden or through the spatial crack? Qin Yun asked. Let's go to the spatial crack in front. It's faster. Bing Xing pulled Qin Yun and flew towards those spatial cracks. If the golden moon slowly landed on the ground, it might not explode. It would only land on the ground and at most cause a tremor. However, the sudden explosion of the golden moon is enough to cause the space of the ancient garden to collapse. The golden moon tore open many spatial cracks. By going through different cracks, one can go to different places in the immortal desolate. When Qin Yun and Bing Xing flew over, they suddenly saw an acquaintance. Uncle Qin, Shimen Dazhuang, is sitting on a large flying ship in the distance. He shouted at Qin Yun, We are here. Uncle, where are you going? Quickly come over to our side. Shimen Taidan also shouted. Their large ship flew towards another huge spatial crack. Qin Yun wanted to go over because the Shimen and Qin family previously went to a place to investigate something. They must have obtained quite a bit of harvest, and he is also very curious. But now, Bing Xing brought him along and quickly flew through a spatial crack. Shimen Dazhuang curled his lips and said, Uncle was kidnapped by a woman. Qin Yun feels somewhat regretful in his heart because he did not manage to obtain the other half of the Sun Soul. He felt that the Sun Soul was inside the golden moon, but the golden moon suddenly exploded and all kinds of fragments flew everywhere. Moreover, it tore open space and many fragments flew out from the spatial crack. Bing Xing brought Qin Yun to a dark green mountain. Xiao Yun, you can release that ball of light. Bing Xing looked around and confirmed that they are in the immortal desolate and felt a lot more relieved. Qin Yun controlled the Nine Sun Divine Spirit's third pearl and released the huge golden light ball. Shuyan, where are you? Qin Yun shouted at the huge light ball. It's all right, this is the immortal desolate. I want to follow the golden moon's spirit to ascend to the divine desolate. The huge golden light ball let out a gentle laugh. Xiao Yun, I'll be leaving first. Hey, Qin Yun shouted. Then how can I find Sister Yao Fong? My original body in the immortal desolate is with Xiao Rou. Lu Yu Shuyan said with a light smile. Oh right, the other half of the Sun Soul is for you. The huge light ball, floating high in the sky, suddenly dropped a boot. Qin Yun quickly went over to catch it. He finally obtained a pair of boots. They are formed from the Sun Soul. As for what it is used for, he still doesn't know. In short, it is a Sun Soul. It is definitely a good thing. Can we also go to the Divine Desolate? Bing Xing suddenly asked. No, my current state is very special. I have fused with the Golden Moon Spirit. That's why I can go. If you follow me, you will die in the passage. Lu Yu Shuyan said, Bing Xing, look after Xiao Yun. Don't let him wander around. Bing Xing suddenly grabbed Qin Yun's hand. She is truly worried that he would rush forward. Suddenly, a spatial fluctuation appeared in the sky. The golden moon's spirit has been sucked into the divine desolate. Sai, let's go. Qin Yun said, somewhat melancholy. Xiao Yun, are you worried that Sister Yao Fong from the immortal desolate won't treat you well? Bing Xing seems to be able to see through Qin Yun's thoughts. No. Qin Yun curled his lips and said. Suddenly, something inside his nine-sun divine spirit moved. Is the great golden devil horn. Evil God is contacting him. Qin Yun immediately took it out. Evil God, what's the matter? Qin Yun asked. I've been calling you every day. Finally, we got in touch. Evil God shouted. Something big has happened. Those guys from the Divine Desolate know that you have a 9-sun divine hammer. They're trying to send people to snatch it away. Qin Yun said, They can only come down through the sun altar, right? No problem. At worst, I'll just tear down a few more sun altar. Evil God shouted loudly. Little ancestor, don't act recklessly. Isn't it enough that you have offended the Dao Yang divine sect and Heavenly Mountain Tyrant Sun? Oh, that's right. There's also the Xie Yang race. You stabbed down one of their Xie Yang. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten that there are still 2 Xie Yangs in the Immortal Desolate waiting for me to stab them. Qin Yun said with a smile. He feels that he is about to become an immortal king. There is nothing to be afraid of. Furthermore, there is still the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master who will cooperate with him in the Immortal Desolate. All right, you are awesome. Evil God is also very speechless. He is very worried for Qin Yun. Evil God, what happened in the Divine Desolate? How is the Star God? Qin Yun asked. Star God? Same old, being chased everywhere. Evil God said, I won't talk to you anymore if I am discovered. I will be chased like the Star God. I am not as good at hiding as the Star God. Bing Xing heard Evil God's words from his side. Xiao Yun, don't be afraid. I am an immortal emperor. Even if I face the devil immortal great emperor and the immortal desolate great emperor, I can still block them. Bing Xing said with domineering expression. With Sister Bing Xing's words, I am relieved. Qin Yun laughed and then kissed Bing Xing's jade-like face. Bing Xing gently smiled and said, Let's go. Take me to your divine inscription mountain to take a look. Qin Yun took out the soul-chasing talisman and confirmed the location of the divine inscription mountain, then flew over with Bing Xing. The divine inscription mountain is not at its previous location. Previously, the divine inscription mountain should have been near the entrance of the ancient Era's garden. The divine inscription mountain moved. It might have gone to devour the divine mountain. Back then, the devil immortal heavenly sect and the other great powers used the divine mountain they controlled to exchange for the pass. I wonder how the old mountain has evolved. Qin Yun is secretly looking forward to the divine fruit of the divine inscription mountain. Right now, he is only a step away from stepping into the immortal king realm. If the divine fruit of the divine inscription mountain is strong enough, it will allow him to quickly break through. While flying, Bing Xing suddenly said, Something is wrong with the Immortal Desolate. Something is wrong? Qin Yun said with a frown. What's wrong? I don't feel it. Chapter 1658. Shengsun Ancient City. Qin Yun took out the Immortal Graveyard Diagram and tried to contact Xie Karu, but failed. He guessed that Xie Karu was worried that the Immortal Graveyard Diagram would be discovered by others, so she cut off the connection to avoid being detected. Kiru has become a little girl, but her strength is still very strong. When Bing Xing saw the Immortal Graveyard Diagram, she realized that Qin Yun is contacting Xie Karu. She had a very good relationship with Xie Karu's previous life, Xian Kiru. Back then, Xian Kiru had a very special and high status in Guanghan. Back then, Bing Xing could become very strong because of Xian Kiru's help. Yuelan and Sister Yao Fong are with her. They must be very safe. Qin Yun stored the Immortal Graveyard Diagram. Xie Karu is looking for Nether Sun Spirit. She wants to create a special sun inside Qin Yun's 9-sun Divine Spirit. It is a fusion of Nether Sun and Pure Sunday. He didn't know the specifics, but it was a long plan that would take him years to complete. Sister Bing Xing, do the people of Immortal Desolate remember Immortal King Fu Yun? Qin Yun is flying in the sky, bringing along Bing Xing towards the divine inscription mountain. After Qin Yun arrived in the Immortal Desolate, he suffered a special heavenly punishment. People who have not cultivated sacred level soul will forget about him. He felt that the power of the heavenly punishment might have already been broken. You should have already remembered. As your cultivation increases, the heavenly punishment shackles will also be broken. Bing Xing said with a frown. You better not expose it. Qin Yun said with a smile. I don't have the memories of my past life anyways. Aren't you going to recover your past life's memories? The memories of your previous life carry many secrets. If you don't recover them, you won't know those secrets. Bing Xing asked. I won't recover for the time being. Qin Yun said. Sister Bing Xing, didn't you not want me to recover? Didn't you say that if I recovered my memories from my previous life, you would kill me? That was in the past. Now the situation is different. Bing Xing chuckled. Qin Yun also knew that his past life held many secrets, but he felt that it was fine even if he did not know those secrets. He had a good life in this life. Of course, even if he wanted to recover his memories, it would not be that easy. Qin Yun held the soul-chasing talisman and flew with Bing Xing for more than half a day. Finally, he approached the Divine Inscription Mountain. What puzzled him was that after he approached the Divine Inscription Mountain, he did not see it. One must know that the Divine Inscription Mountain is a huge mountain. If one were to approach it, they would be able to see it from afar. Is it not nearby? Qin Yun looked at the soul-chasing talisman in his hand and said in puzzlement, There's no problem with this talisman. Why isn't the Divine Mountain of Inscription here? Bing Xing looked around and said, There are residual spatial fluctuations nearby. It's very weak. Really? Qin Yun sensed it very seriously, but he did not discover anything. Bing Xing is an immortal emperor. Her perception is indeed very strong. The Inscription Divine Mountain ate a lot of instant space immortal iron before. It is very likely that it has evolved. Qin Yun continued following the soul-chasing talisman. He also wanted to know what kind of evolution the Divine Inscription Mountain had. He and Bing Xing entered a mountain range. The mountains here are all tens of thousands of meters tall. There are also many densely packed giant trees and many ancient giant plants. The flowers and plants here were all very big. Some of them were even tens of meters tall. There are also many ferocious immortal beasts in the mountain range. This is a rather dangerous place in the heavenly province. Bing Xing said, Your Divine Inscription Mountain is here. It might be hiding from something. Bing Xing is a very strong immortal emperor. With her here, Qin Yun is naturally not afraid of anything. Sister Bing Xing, did I let you down in my previous life? Qin Yun suddenly asked and tightly held Bing Xing's slender hand. No, in your previous and current life, you have never let me down and I owe you a lot. Bing Xing sighed and said, There's nothing to owe. Qin Yun smiled slightly. We are friends. Bing Xing nodded. Her face revealed a gentle and sweet smile. It is now evening. Qin Yun and Bing Xing are flying in the sky, filled with sunset glow. Qin Yun suddenly stopped and looked at the dense forest below. He said, The Divine Inscription Mountain should be nearby. Why can't I see it? There are many high mountains nearby, but none of them are like the Divine Inscription Mountain. Bing Xing said, It's in that patch of grass. There are many giant flowers and plants in the grass below. Those blooming flowers are more than 10 to 20 meters wide. Inside some of the giant flowers, there are many corpses of birds and beasts. They're all man-eating flowers. Old Mountain, Qin Yun suddenly shouted, Are you nearby? The grass below that is filled with giant flowers and plants opened up, and a small pagoda-shaped mountain that looks like a pile of rocks appeared. The small mountain is dozens of meters tall, and its surface is covered with many rocks. It looks like a pagoda-shaped stone mountain. Damn, is this still my Divine Inscription Mountain? Qin Yun said in shock. An old man suddenly appeared at the top of the mountain. It is indeed Xiaohua. Quickly come down. Xiaohua lightly shouted. Qin Yun and Bing Xing immediately descended. After they landed at the top of the pagoda, they followed Xiaohua down through a door at the top of the mountain. After entering, both Qin Yun and Bing Xing jumped in fright. This small mountain doesn't look big from the outside. However, the interior is very spacious. After Qin Yun and Bing Xing entered the mountain, they saw a very spacious grassland. This is not a cave, but a space. Moreover, Inside, they can directly see the sunset glow in the sky. They immediately understood that there is a very spacious space world inside. This space world is also very strange. They can see the sky outside from the inside, but they can't see inside from the outside. Qin Yun is very excited. He feels that his instant space immortal iron was not wasted in vain. The mountain god has indeed used it very well. In the grassland, there are some small buildings. Moreover, there is a large rock. It is the mountain god's throne. The mountain god is now on top of the large rock. He laughed loudly and said, "Sect Master, the divine inscription mountain has changed a lot, ha ha ha. So many instant space immortal iron is truly very useful." Xiao Yingying, He Shu, Bai Zhe, and Lu Jian all came out of their small houses and shouted at the hierarch. "This must be the sect master's wife, right? Greetings, sect master's wife." Lu Jian looked at Bing Xing and said respectfully, "I am Bing Xing, from Guanghan Palace." Bing Xing said, "Xiaohua." Lu Jian and others are immediately alarmed. They all heard that Guanghan Palace's immortal Emperor Bing Xing has such a good relationship with Qin Yun. They all know that Guanghan Palace's immortal Emperor Yu has a very good relationship with Qin Yun. "Old Mountain, why are you hiding in this kind of place?" Qin Yun asked. "Yeah, it's a long story. The divine inscription mountain was almost destroyed." Xiao Hua said, "Fortunately, Old Mountain has mastered the ability to travel through space. He directly teleported away." Xiao Yingying said, "Brother Xiao Yun, where is Yueme? She should have gone to Guanghan Palace. She will be back in a while." Qin Yun said with smile, "She is the grand elder here. She is the big sister. She will definitely come back." Bing Xing asked, "Old Xiao, why was the divine inscription mountain destroyed? I heard that the divine inscription mountain's defense is very strong." The divine inscription mountain has already evolved to a very high level. Even an immortal emperor like Bing Xing can enter. Didn't the sun descend many sun divine stones? Later, the sun descended on 9 cities called Holy Sun Ancient City. Xiao Hua said, "We were almost exterminated by the people from Holy Sun Ancient City." Old Shan snorted, "Those guys are from the sacred wasteland. Wait until I evolve and have enough power. I will crush them in a few moves." Holy Sun Ancient City? Bing Xing's expression slightly changed. She said, "I heard that there are dozens of these Holy Sun Ancient City floating in the sky of Sacred Desolate, very close to the sun." Yes, Holy Sun Ancient City was built by the 9 Yang Divine Palace back then. Now that 9 of them suddenly descended to the Immortal Desolate, the main reason is to absorb outstanding geniuses. When the world extermination descends upon the Immortal Desolate and Sacred Desolate, Holy Sun Ancient City will rise high into the sky. Xiao Hua said, "In my inherited memories, these Holy Sun Ancient City would only descend upon the Sacred Desolate. I never expected that 9 ancient cities would descend upon the Immortal Desolate." Bai Zhe said, "The 9 Holy Sun Ancient Cities of the Immortal Desolate all restrict cultivation. They correspond to the 9 cultivation levels of the Immortal Realm. For example, we are all Immortal Kings now. We can only enter the Immortal King Ancient City." He Shu said, "What? You are all Immortal Kings?" Qin Yun is very shocked because he feels that his cultivation in the ancient garden has advanced by leaps and bounds, is inconceivably fast. What's so strange about it? There are many divine fruits here. Mountain God said with smile, "Divine fruit? Why didn't I see it?" Qin Yun looked around. It's on the lower level. There are 9 layers of space inside the divine inscription mountain, and each space is independent. The mountain god proudly smiled and said, "Different spaces have different functions, and I can even link these spaces together." Qin Yun said with smile, "If Yueme was here, she would definitely be overjoyed." Bing Xing exclaimed in her heart again and again. She asked again, "Are the people of the Holy Sun Ancient City very strong?" Xiao Hua's expression is grave. He nodded and said, "They are all very strong. They can see how powerful this divine inscription mountain is and want to seize it. Mountain God cursed in low voice. Those guys said that I ate a lot of divine mountains and seized too many sun divine stones. They want me to spit them out, so they want to suppress me. Motherfucker, when I break through again, I'll crush them to death. The 9 ancient cities are all managed by different people, right? Bing Xing asked. Are the 9 ancient cities joining hands to deal with the divine inscription mountain, or one by one? It's the immortal Emperor Ancient City that wants to mess with me. Mountain God said. The immortal Emperor Ancient City is rather complicated. I also didn't investigate the specific situation. In short, those 10 or so powerful immortal emperors said that they came from the immortal Emperor Ancient City. Xiao Hua let out a long sigh and said, the situation in the immortal desolate is becoming more and more complicated. Bing Xing said, I want to return to the Guanghan Palace. I'm worried that those ancient cities will also attack the Guanghan Palace. You don't have to worry about that. They won't dare to attack the Guanghan Palace. Xiaohua said, the Guanghan Palace is also a very strong power now. Bing Xing nodded and said to Qin Yun, Xiao Yun, I'll return to the Guanghan Palace first. If there's any situation, we'll contact each other again. All right, Qin Yun nodded. He and Xiao Hua sent Bing Xing out of the divine inscription mountain space and watched her disappear into the sky before returning. Sect Master, how was your harvest after entering the ancient garden? He Shu asked curiously. My harvest is huge. Qin Yun chuckled, looked at Mountain God, and asked, Old Mountain, if I had a large amount of sacred Xian silver crystals, would you be able to evolve? He planned to turn the divine inscription mountain into the center formation base of the magic mirror. At that time, no one would be able to destroy it. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.